Welcome everybody. This is the Imperium Cup, and we are watching quarterfinal Group G. I am CJ. Welcome back to the channel, and I'm joined by the Black Shadow.
Good evening, everyone. Hope you're well. Welcome back to more quarterfinals action for probably the most ridiculous tournament I've ever seen in my life.
Indeed.
Honestly, so we have had like some utter ridiculous games. We've been going through a lot of editing recently, and from some of the group game finishes to some of the other finishes we've seen, some have been completely absurd. And this should prove to be a good match as well. Some high quality players here. It's going to be quite interesting. I just commentated off of quarterfinal H. It was a very aggressive game. I think this could be a much more technical affair. Kind of not so much warlord leaders here, much more interested in going spice plus flow, diplomacy fighting. So just to see how things play out for this one.
Yeah, definitely. So we have four great players here. All of these are extremely accomplished in this tournament. They are forces to be reckoned with. Somancy has been just basically running up this tournament and doing amazing work. Bale has, I think he won every one of his group games. Is that right? Or almost everyone?
Yeah, Somancy got he won Group C, got 15 out of 20. Bale was the wildcard qualifier from Group B.
Ah, that's right. Okay.
The crazy Group B, which of course I crashed out of because the way it went. Someone had to die, unfortunately. We also got Habboot as well, who was second in Group K, and Xytrohs, tomas, as well, who got second in Group E. So all did pretty well. Group B was like, it was anyone's really, so, you know, it could have been anyone's. So I think this should be a pretty solid lineup here.
Yep, absolutely. And they are just getting ready here. We'll see the Imperium row in just a moment. I need black.
And he said he'd remember. How could you just listen?
There we go. All right.
Here we go, kid.
Let's take a look at this Imperium row. We have the Worm Riders, always fearsome, always good to have. Test of Humanity, a great card. Can really mess up your opponents. Shifting Allegiances, and if you have not seen a Tessia play Shifting Allegiances, it is absolutely gross. It is just unbelievable. Or even a Leto, just one of the most dangerous cards in the game. Esmar Tuek, don't see this one very much, but I'm glad it's in this row. Very powerful row. We have a Carryall, which, you know, to be honest, this, if there was a time to play Ariana Thorvald, it's now. Okay, it's here. Let's do it. And then in our tech row, we have Restricted Ordnance. We will have a Mnemonic Film and a Training Drones. And we'll see.
Not a bad looking row here. I have been taking to testing Humanity recently. The fact that it has no setup, you can definitely catch people off guard with that sometimes, put them in weird spots. But Shifting Allegiances out, which means you'd think an ECAS is going to be very tempting. A Helena is also one of the two you think are going to probably come out for this one.
Yeah, whoa!
Well, Somancy thinks it's time for some Memnon action. Well, here we go.
Yeah, he has said there's now, untapped potential, so.
Here we go. So why Memnon here? I mean, there's obviously some, I mean, he must be trying to work out, what's the plan here for Memnon, do you think?
Well, there's a good chance that this restricted ordinance works really well.
Yeah, that's a good shout. Yeah, he wants restricted. He's going to get extra value out of that. Shifting his overving pickup was also going to be solid. A lot of cards here using spice for something or another, so I guess that's a way to fund that, perhaps. I'm guessing that's the logic here. Absolutely. Beast in seconds, always solid here. Don't know if he's going to go for Mnemonic Film here immediately. I don't think you always have to as Beast. I think it can be a bit of a Greek gift occasionally. You kind of get it, and then you go like very heavy combat, and it's like
it doesn't do anything
very much of it. So you've got to have a reason for doing it, not just getting it for the sake of it.
Absolutely.
Bale in the tank as well, which is gonna be curious. There's not bad choices here. Again, like you've got a lot of spice here, using up, so you got to be a little bit careful of leaders using spice, like Hundro, or whatever else. Una could be of some use here, actually. You know, later in the game, file delivery giving you some extra spice to give you like some extra shifting allegiance powers, perhaps.
I like that a lot. I think a Una here would be a smart pick, especially with a Leto behind you. So like that would cut off Leto a little bit from cash. So Mentat would be a little harder to get. But I mean, what else could you do here? I mean, anything. Everyone plays pretty well from first position. I could see an argument for a Tessia here. I mean, there's a lot of track climbing cards like in the row, and that's something Tessia wants. I could also see an ECAS here. You know, as you mentioned earlier.
Helena, solid. No, Tessia it is. Okay, so I think this is a little dangerous. I
little
don't think
bit.
this is the best looking board for Tessia I've ever seen. You know, there's nothing really leaning into it. If she can pick up like Esmar, that'll feel pretty good, perhaps. You know, always not a bad idea of Tessia to kind of like pump all of your faction access into one trap potentially, and then using a ring to deploy it away. But I don't know. We'll see what the plan is here, Tessie. It's not as clear cut as it normally would be. You've got Leto, who's kind of a good chaser as well, so we'll keep Tessia probably fairly honest here.
Yeah, and
Hello.
actually insane draws for pretty much everybody here.
Yeah, my
Tessia,
goodness.
Tessia's got
Big combat. Isn't it?
yeah, big combat. Yeah, exactly. It is a big combat. And I think did you mention this is like your favorite of the combats?
I think honestly the influence skirmishes are probably the most valuable to fight for, which I know is crazy because there's two that give you a victory point.
Yeah.
But I think just given the state of Ix and how interstellar shipping works, it's obviously very powerful. And this is why Beast goes there immediately, which makes total sense. You know, and I'd be honest, I think I would have. It's one of those ones with Tessia. If you're playing as Tessia or Baron, I honestly do believe if you've got full space available, you should just Hardy Warrior it and just try and take the combat down. But Beast has got there instead.
Wow.
Memnon, hello. So Memnon's gone Mimic here, using his ring to get the extra spice. So he's got his 50-50 and taken it. This looks at his high persuasion incoming from Memnon here.
That's crazy. I mean, it makes sense if you're going for Esmar. If you can't get you got tech negotiation, so he can get Worm Riders. He can go like really hard on combat if that's what he wants to do.
There's some diversity here. Yeah, Memnon's really cool as well. He is basically the only other character outside of the Beast who can pick up a tech first turn, like first action, if he gets his ring, of course. So, usual stuff here. Well for Leto. Leto looks like he's already setting his stall. Like, he's going to be hitting Mentat pretty hard here.
Yep. And Tessia going over to Smuggle. Makes some sense. And this is all kind of what you'd expect from round one, actually, and with almost perfect hands.
Everyone's hands a bit awkward now. Daggers, lots of... Look, everyone's got pretty much all their convincing out immediately. So this Imperium row is about to fly through.
It sure is,
I wonder if anyone's going to consider maybe some early revealing here, because no one's got great access to anything. You know, what does Beast really want to do here? Does he want to go Basin? It doesn't feel too great. You've got 5 Persuasion. Esmar 2x right there. Shifting Allegiances is right there. Carriel is such a monster card to Beast. I think he's going to early reveal. I'm okay with this.
I think you're right.
I think getting first crack at this makes sense, and here he does. Yeah, you've put in your troops. Don't do any more here. Esmar's a big card, but Carriel on the Beast is monstrous. You can just go great flat highliner backwards and forwards like forever. And that is so powerful. But he might be tempted to take shifting, keep it away from someone else, maybe pick up like a liaison on top or something. There's a lot of good options, and he does, if that was the case.
I think that's a fine pick. I mean, if you're at this level, you should be not just be thinking of what's good for me, but what's not good for everyone, or what's good for everyone else. Because if you can take that card away from them, really hinder their progress, that's strong.
Yeah. So here we go. So Memnon is up here. So again, Memnon has 6 persuasion. I suspect we will see in action though. I think Memnon might even consider going maybe to like Haga Basin. I have a funny feeling he's going to go there, get the spice early. Shuttle fleets turn up in tech as well, which is pretty worth fighting for.
Yeah.
So I think we might see Haga Basin here, get some spice on board, give yourself some options, maybe hit selective breeding early. You know, you've got a bit of flexibility. It's going to preserve the water for now, which I think is okay. You definitely want to get a troop or 2 in here. I'd consider even putting in 2 and just charge a mission.
Yeah.
But ops to 1, which I guess is a little conservative. Just hoping they don't put them in here. But the thing is, if you put in 2, you know you're guaranteed at least something for your troubles. They're not both going to put in 3.
Luckily for him, though, Leto does not have access yet.
No, but here comes the Mentat. It's begun. Finds diplomacy. Ooh. Big card. That's a nice find.
That's going to be a still suits for sure.
Tessia with 4. She's going to take test, which is fine. It's never bad. The access is always okay. It's just the fact you don't have to research it, which is fine. Here's Esmar for Memnon, which will be very nice here. I think that's that command the ring will be a very flexible card. That.
Yeah, it's a smart pickup here, I think, since Memnon really wants to churn through those techs as much as possible.
Yeah, Memnon's going to be holding out for a way to discard that card off a tech or something, or maybe Guild Chief Administrator looks very juicy right now for with Esmar 2x, so there could be some huge synergy potential there. But people like getting that card for real effect. Bounty Hunter also turns up on the Imperium row as well. Very, very nice card. One of my favorites. There is no Helena, so there's some potential power. Leto hitting Steel Suits, yeah. Always you want to do, hit Steel Suits, get in some troops from your garrison as well. It's always solid. Totally fine for Leto here. He's going to have 4 to buy with as well. I suspect Leto will take the Chief Admin.
Yeah.
I would imagine.
Interesting enough, I don't think Leto would have gone in had Memnon thrown a second troop in just to tie. So it's kind of interesting. Yep, there's Chief Admin for Leto. All right, makes sense.
Yep. Local Fence also turns up here. Potentially a very nice card. It has obviously the nice 2 reveal as well as a backup. But if you can kind of start high rolling on resources, this is a real great way to really focus your efforts. Beast can make fantastic use of that card. Potentially, if you can get hold of Load of Solari. Like, that coupled with, like, Shuttle Fleet is a monster.
All right, well, it looks like that's going to be the end of this combat. We're going to resolve this. Beast is going to go up, probably has already gone up, actually, with the Spacing Guild.
Fairly standard.
Beast
will make his way to spacing this round and will be first to make his way here. Terrible Purpose of the combat. That will be of interest. Not a very good third spot, but I think Terrible Purpose's second spot here is well worth fighting for.
Yeah. And
the second round here, one of the better second place rewards in the second round.
Beast is going to head over to Fold Space and probably going to hit up this, Interstellar. I mean, this is just what second place can do, or second position can do, is if you can win that first bump, you're guaranteed that second bump almost every time.
Usually speaking, there's ways around it. So everyone's going to have a lot of their faction access cards now, which there wasn't too many out here. Very few daggers around as well. Players will be keeping note of this. So the Memnon does go set to breeding straight away. I had a feeling this was going to happen here. I think he's going to just rely on getting his deck fairly trim. I think he's going to look to try and hit high count as soon as possible and just start buying and just spice must flowing here. I think it's going to be the strat here.
Yeah.
It's going to need potential, a little bit of fortune maybe here though. You're going to need to do more than just that. Obviously, restricted ordnance also potential, but you're going to struggle to do everything in one go here. Although maybe players might see Shuttle Fleet and will gun for that first. It might buy you a little bit of time. Shuttle Fleet is going to be huge here. Leto could definitely make his way to Great Flat and pick it up if he wanted. I don't really see what else Leto's got currently is the thing. Great Flat. You could do it with tech negotiation, with your signaling, and still get your bump out of that as well for the tech here. But he's going to go smuggling.
Interesting. Is that a block? I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know if it's a block. I think it's more he's setting up for later on. He's getting prepped for in a couple of rounds when he is able to hit Interstellar, so he can cash in immediately.
Fascinating. Those are always kind of like little tepid plays. I'm just going to get a buck. Just going to go up.
Yeah.
No problem.
I think it's smuggling early can't be bad.
No.
And usually you tend to find what ends up happening is kind of the first round goes across, and then second player in the round, the second action will go smuggling to set up their Interstellar next time. But looks like Leto's going to try and jump the queue a little bit here.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's very good at chasing, and is going to be, he has good, not a bad chance to pick up his access to Fold Space next turn, hoping maybe that somancy doesn't find it. But, it's see how things go.
It's going to be Hardy.
Tessia with the Fold Space.
It is going to be Hardy. Yeah, this makes some sense.
She's going for it. It's totally fine. It's always nice as well, because if somehow someone decides just to throw a ton of troops at you, you at least get your water back, which is such a big part of Hardy Warriors. Being able to use it flexibly is being able to know you're going to get the water back. It's where Wind Traps is super duper good. If you just keep hitting Hardy Warriors, you keep winning combats, you keep getting your water back, and you keep going to the well. It's not on at the moment, but a very effective strategy.
Interstellar for Beast.
Yep, pretty straightforward. Take the couple of bumps. Doesn't look like anyone else is going to... Tessia is going to be using her Duplicit here, so Beast is only going to get not much use out of it now. He's going to get shut out here, and he must have known that coming in, but he's managed to at least get one hit of it, so he'll be looking to try and pick up his smuggle pretty early. Maybe also keep an eye out for invasion shits, perhaps.
Here's well for Memnon.
Yeah. I think Somancy's plan, he's going to kind of keep things a little bit quiet early. He's just going to try and just develop his economy, kind of set himself up. He's going to make a late game push here. and try and stay out of trouble early on, which is always risky because the game can get away from you. And Memnon is not exactly well known for his late game climbing abilities.
No. Yeah, I think if you thin that deck enough and get the most out of your ring, I mean that's really how you take advantage of Memnon.
Yeah, more chasing for Leto. Yeah, see, Leto's going to be hitting this Mentat very heavily here, and he's made it clear. So both Mentats already. So I think Memnon will want to try and pinch that from him where possible. Obviously not right now, but later game I can see Memnon hitting that pretty heavily, denying Leto the Mentat use. Leto picks up his Guild Chief Admin as well. That's a nice find. He probably won't use it for its actual ability. He might just keep it the reveal. Charisma for Tessia. That's always good to find. Always good early game. Get you a card you weren't expecting. Bit of flexibility. There's Dupliciting, of course. Dagger will... I imagine the dagger will go here. I mean, you're not buying much. You've only got 2 persuasion. Might keep the dagger just in case. I mean, do you want to buy a liaison? I mean, with Bounty Hunter on the deck, I might have considered just getting rid of like Recon or something, but let's decide against it. Beast gets there first though. It's a nice card. Hello. Assassination Mission turns up. Can also take that as well if they want. So it makes their deck a bit bloated. Already at 13 cards, which is a little uncomfortable.
Tessie would love that here actually if they managed to pick it up. It's like
I mean basically that's a grab and trash. I mean that feels pretty good. Here's the carry-all for Memnon. Yep, here we go. So the plans are coming into place here. Memnon's going to need to get hold of some water though. Try and hit Great Flat as much as possible. Could Memnon decide to go highlining here? He's not hit Spacing Guild yet. And you tend to find if players don't hit Spacing early, there is a habit for them to just try and get hold of that VP via Highliner trip. So maybe that's the plan here. Memnon's going to look to target the late game combats.
Yeah, I think only 3 people can really be sustained with the guild track. I really think there's no way you can have all 4 people vying for that track. So someone has to say, I'm out, most of the time.
But they've got to pick up the point eventually.
Yeah. But not fight for the alliance.
Leaving that on the deck is difficult to win games, so that might be the way around it. Leto's got options here. None of them are great though. The question is do you take the spice now and hit Great Flat? And he's going to start Klein against it. It's going to be Arakeen. Now, what's he looking to try and make a purchase here?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Anti-diplomacy. Didn't want to see that. That was a risk. I'm
Yeah.
not sure I like that.
So the 5 buy isn't going to get him much more than a 4 buy, but
didn't like that at all.
Yeah.
I think that's a bit kind of hoping there. I think you want to take the spice. Shuttle fleet's literally right there. That's so good for you. You can use that to push ahead with like the Emperor and the Fremen and just rely on chasing elsewhere. You can use that to get hold of your access to spacing as well. Didn't like that.
Tessia will pick up that assassination mission, and that is going to be a huge boon for Tessia. Ixian Engineer is now in the tech row, and you got to believe that Memnon sitting on this carry-all is going to want that very badly.
Yeah, that seems pretty good. You've got to find VPs out of somewhere, and that seems a fairly solid way to try and look to get that. He will be first, most likely to reveal next round as well, so good chances to take it. If Leto doesn't get there first,
he might take it away. I don't know if you can really risk people.
Has
having
5.
This card. Yeah.
Has 5, but it's awkward though because it's not doing a lot on your deck as all, so you got to be a little careful.
Sea-Tripping Mother is the new Imperium card.
Nice card. Nice card.
Really, right now, only good for Beast. I think is the only one who has Fremen.
Yeah, for now, but those liaisons will start coming in. We've got Federkin and Worm Riders on the deck as well, so they will feed in here. Tessia with the stomping win here takes it down.
It's a massive
nice, easy second place for Leto here as well. That's a very, very good times. So Tessia gets out the 3 points. Way to go, however. But yeah, there's a couple of concerns here already. I think Beast needs to trim his deck down a little bit. It's a little chunky here. Already at 13 cards after just a couple of rounds. Gotta be a little careful. Carfag turns out here, which is always nice to see. No Helena, so you're not likely to get extra value like you sometimes do out of Carfag.
Right.
But that's still what we're fighting for. Carthage, obviously, a very, very busy spot, especially late game. You can print plenty of money out of that. That can pay for Mentat visits. That can pay for a bonus High Council. If Flagship comes later in the game, it pays for that as well. So, yeah, it's always worth fighting for this.
I think somancy here is thinking about Haga Basin. Haga Basin paying to go up in the spacing that's probably how he's going to do it, just with Tuek. So
yeah, I think so definitely. Until you kind of, especially early game, until you can find a way to start like discarding it out of your hand, I think you've got to be using Tuek generally for its actions. But looks like he's going to rely on the resources here, I guess, which is interesting. He's going to concede. He's going to concede access now. If he puts in here, that would suggest that he's not going into combat later on. So it looks like tech negotiation might be the shout, but. Signet Ring, Shuttle Fleet is out of reach, so that's not going to be there. Leto's got to hit Great Flat here soon, you would imagine. I know no one else is near to get hold of it, but I think there's going to be value for it. Takes down and cashes in for the Solari. That'll be enough for his Swordmaster.
Pretty big turn for Leto, actually, with this 7 Solari, and likely to hit this Great Flat. The Great Flat here, he could just wait and get 6 Spice next round. I mean...
Well, he might. I don't know. I think he'll buy it because he's got Ixion Engineer, and he's not gotten much else. So I think we could well see Swordmaster and then Ixion Engineer to take Shuttle Fleet. I think is what we're going to see here. I feel like you've got to use it currently. Otherwise you're just not doing anything else. If you're going to get Ixion Engineer early, you've got to be prepared to physically use it. And this is a great shout to do it. You can also put in some troops late as well to kind of get a spice back through the combat. Feels very versatile. Obviously, Shuttle Fleet's such a good tech to get super early.
Yeah.
And that obviously will fund his Mentats for the rest of the game. So I think it looks a pretty. His turn kind of plays itself here, I suspect.
I think you're right. Yeah.
Tessia's got a bit more funkiness here. She's got the rings. You kind of want to start dupliciting, but it's a bit awkward here. Like you could go Interstellar with the ring. But she might, I assume, well, she can go up and down, and she could do is take the influence with the Spacing Guild and then duplicate away to somewhere else. Yeah. It's kind of weird. Tessia's not really that great at actually winning the Spacing Alliance because of the way her ring works. And it's such a very versatile card. I mean, you might decide to go against it, but when your powers are for spreading elsewhere... no, it looks like she's just going to do it this way. It doesn't really matter which way, she's just going to take it this way. But yeah, I don't think Tessie's going to make a push for the alliance here. She's going to try and push something else here. As you can see, hello. Now, this is interesting. She's actually auto-sacrificing. Now, maybe she's hoping she can hit fold space and get back round to her and get back in, I'm guessing. Noticing that Memnon is not attempting to go spacing. It might be the plan here. Trying to use that to get the extra water here. Try and be competitive with Great Flat is my guess.
Yeah, makes sense.
I think Tessie's going to hit fold space here, which is a bit of a strange way to play it, but not against it. But you've got 2 daggers in as well. You really feel like you want to be using them for something.
Yeah, it could be a still suits play. Just throw 2 guys in and just hope your 2 daggers are good enough this round.
And there's a statement: training drones for the beast. That's a big statement there.
Spy satellites
we are going to go more. Spy satellites turns up, which is obviously usually pretty popular. I don't know if it's going to find a lot of value here. Memnon might be tempted by that. He has no faction influence yet. No. Conspiring. All right, I like it. Iron's double cross. That's a big card as well. Very useful.
Has enough to use that and get the Swordmaster in the next round, so that's great.
Yeah, Swordmaster's there. So I'm sure that's what we'll see here. Oh, Leto. Leto's gotta get Swordmaster first here. Nearly missed that one.
Leto could actually wait, although I don't know if they have another green symbol. Oh, they do. They have their dagger. So yeah, they could have waited and blocked Memnon. That would have been pretty mean. Oh no, they would have been blocking. Oh, they were blocking.
Yeah,
Tessia
exactly.
Too.
Yeah, exactly. You got to get in now. But I'm sure we'll see Shuttle Fleets via Great Flat.
Yeah.
And there's nothing anyone can do about that. So it makes total sense. Tessia is in a bit of a weird spot here. I wouldn't actually be against Mentat for Tessia here. Just kind of give yourself some options. You might want to take down this combat. You've got a chance to still be last to act here, pretty much. So I like the idea of this. Both Fremen spots are still open as well, so you could go Still Suit, you could Hardy Warriors it. You've got plenty of cash on hand. I'm okay with going Mentat here. Just kind of take a breath. And make other people kind of commit ahead of you. If you commit now, you're kind of guessing. You've also got Beast, who's picked up training drones, so that's going to be pretty concerning. So you kind of want to see how much he's actually going to throw into this. He can't go Hardy Warriors, but he can still Steel Suit and put in 3 troops. He could go to City and put in 4 if he wanted. So I think Mentat, I think's the right move here. I don't really see what else there is.
Yeah, makes sense to me. I mean, there could be an argument for High Council this turn because it might be in high competition next couple of rounds, but
Yeah.
it doesn't seem like
No,
what
it's
they're
going
going
to
to do.
commit straight away. The problem is, I think a lot of players tend to make High Council plays when they people don't like making High Council for longer term games. They tend to take High Council when they can do it for something immediately, like an immediate reveal. Like they're gonna about to reveal and they can get what they're after.
Oh, yeah.
Players aren't a big fan of High Counseling when they don't really need to for later on. Whether that's correct or not is another question.
Now, this
But,
Still Suits play here is a pretty decent play, although they don't know that we can have 4. No, sorry, not 4. Yeah, 4 troops thrown in with Beast, so that I don't know.
It's funky. I mean, like Leto did kind of show his Ixion Engineer face up for a moment. She might have seen that, so she might assume that Great Flat is on its way, and assumes that Leto's going to throw in a couple of troops here. So Steel Suits is not going to get the job done, and again, Beast is still going to win this combat.
Oh,
but as I mentioned earlier, she also originally gave up her so she depleted for the water, so she might go back to Fold Space to reacquire that. Which again is a very kind of funky way to do it. It's a bit awkward. Call the market for the Beast. Hello. Not the greatest card for him, but he's not going to complain. They'll all go in here, and I suspect that will do the job. No one else is going to be able to do much here. Leto will not challenge here.
Leto probably throw 1 in and just get second place. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, especially now knowing that it will be good enough here. Resources for Memnon, who will not get Shuttle Fleet, which will be probably a little disappointing. Surely Leto will take it down here, you would imagine. I'd be stunned to see anything else. Here we go. Yep, makes sense. I don't think Leto wants to go spy satellites either. It's not a very good tech for him. Doesn't really do a lot. Yeah. It's more of a denial. Yeah, and here comes the spy satellites. Shuttle fleet here. So that'll be very, very useful for him. Gets a couple of bumps. Does Leto want to try and make his challenge for the Spacing Alliance? I think he might be not a bad shout. I think he want to... Okay. I think as a Leto player, you should really be taking the bumps in the tracks that you can get ahead of, because your ring can do a lot of the catching up here. I'm not... I think you really should push spacing here. You've got to make a challenge for it.
So he did Fremen, he's still thinking about the second one.
Yeah, like he's thinking Emperor. He was originally going to take Emperor and just take the point down, but I think you got to go spacing. I think
spacing makes a lot of sense.
Leader's got such great chance, if I can ever speak correctly, such chasing strength. With his ring, you don't need to do anything else here. That's not quite how that works.
No, can't do that.
No, they're saying yeah. That's I think he forgot there. So it's got to be spacing. And is Beast likely to chase it? No, goes Emperor.
Okay. Alright, we are on round 3, and 2 players are sitting on 4 points. That is a little concerning for Memnon and Beast, but Beast's late game is pretty insane, so...
Yeah, somancy knows that he's not going to be early game powerhousing here. It's not how Memnon really works, so he knows he's got to make this happen in the late game. He's got to set himself up here. It's why he's kind of trying to gather the resources. He knows there's a lot of work to do here.
First pick up Arrakis Liaison, I believe, for Tessia.
Believe so as well. There's I think a couple have gone out actually.
Have they?
First one for Tessia.
6, 7, 8. No, only 2 bot. First one for Beast. Beast has 1. Tessia has 1. Anyway, Worm Riders
arming up, continuing to amp up here and get ready for late game combat. First Worm Riders is gone. Tons of swords on the deck here. If artillery comes out, expect Beast to just immediately take it.
Yeah.
If it comes out here, make it a huge statement. Is tomas or Xytrohs.
Interesting. Most people sort of ignore Worm Riders nowadays. I've noticed that. It just sits on the row a lot longer than it used to. It used to be like insta pick, but not
anymore. Yeah. In a video coming up soon where we do a tier listing of all these stuff, we do talk about We do
It's
talk a
coming.
lot about the Worm Riders, how it has fallen from like in the base game, like easily probably one top 10 cards, to how it's probably middle-ish of the road, just because there's so many other ways to get firepower into combat
Yeah.
outside of just revealed strength. So there's nothing bad on Worm Riders. It's still a solid card, but it's not quite as hard as sought after as it was. Secret Forces for Leto, that's a nice one. Obviously, High Council's cheaper for him as well. That could be used very later on here to change this tide in some tier 3 combats here. Guild Bank Raid is our next combat, which interesting. Round 4. Only one Swordmaster's been bought. Memnon obviously is ready to get that, but High Council is also going to be sought after in this game. So I think this could be more competitive than you usually see here. I think there could be some people having a crack at this.
Now, Tessia has to either use this test of humanity for the Swordmaster or give it up this round, which is not usually what you want to be doing with this card, but that's okay.
Yeah, no, I'm sure she'll play it. Tessamani is a funky one, but I kind of prefer playing it a little later into the round. You don't want to do it immediately. People just burn kind of like bad cards. Players do kind of like to use their like not so good cards early sometimes.
Yeah.
And then you can use the catch them off guard, and they've only got cards they want to keep hold of, and you force them to make a decision. You do it early, you're just like, oh, I'll get rid of my dagger, I'll get rid of my dune. It's not a big deal. So that's just the way it goes sometimes. But this is what Tessia's drawn. It's the only way she can get there. She has to get there surely. So test will be played here to take Swordmaster. Base has got a very nice hand here. Yes. Signet Ring. He's got his shifting leeches, which is obviously pretty good. He might use that to try and rocket himself. Maybe drop. I don't think he's going to want to drop Fremen, though. He's just picked up Worm Riders. He might
just go down, up with the Fremen. That's totally reasonable.
He might smuggle with shifting, I suspect, and then might even. But then he wants to buy Swordmaster. It's a bit funky here.
Yeah.
It's a nice card, but he's got no spice in hand. So unless you're going to go like use it for smuggling and then take the spice, there is also Imperial Basin might also be a better shout here. But I think Beast wants to smuggle here if he can. Don't know, he's got to make a decision. He's not going to get Swordmaster here, but he needs to get it ready for next turn, otherwise Memnon's going to get in there and then it's going to get really awkward. So Bale in the tank here.
It's really all up to Bale here. He's going to determine what everyone else does.
Problem is, if you don't take Swordmaster now, when are you going to get it? Because if next round you're going to be first to act, you're going to be hitting Interstellar, and someone else is going to beat you to Swordmaster. I think it's not ideal to use it now. There is other stuff to do, but if you don't get it now, you're potentially not getting it for a couple of rounds. So it's a bit of a risk.
Yeah.
But Imperial Basin looks juicy. With free spice there, you can get some garrison troops out. And it looks like he's going to take the bait here. He's going to get involved.
This is a super denial for against the Beast here, because they would love to go Imperial Basin.
As it turns out,
yeah,
that would have been huge for him. Now, shifting the inches probably not gonna see action here.
So then this breaks in Memnon's favor a little bit, because Memnon's going to be able to get the Swordmaster. Oof, interesting.
Yeah. Result for Memnon here has gotten a little fortunate. Here. Probably shouldn't have got it, but Bale kind of going off the deep end a little bit here, taking a calculated risk, willing to give up Swordmaster here, hoping to get it next round. So yeah, Beast now forced to shifting, and he's gonna take the spice here. It looks like he's gonna force himself to take spice and use shifting's ability this way. So he's gonna drop from and use this to take the Spacing Alliance.
Yes, makes a lot of sense, and he gets an extra one too.
He gets the 7, and then he's likely going to get his 8th coin as well, either via Carfag or Bounty Hunter, which is pretty nice here. So you'd figure he's most likely going to find his 8th Solari somewhere. So
makes sense.
And then takes the actual bump back with the Fremen there with the shipping as standard. So I'm okay with the Beast. Beast is sometimes got to be a little bit creative in how you're going to pick up your Solari early. It can be hard to come across. You don't want to be hitting health and wealth and whatnot. It's not a great space for you. But Bounty Hunter gives you a lot of flexibility. You do a lot of cool stuff with it, so it makes sense.
He's got a couple of good options here too. He's got his Ring and Bounty Hunter. I guess if nobody goes to a blue space, you just play your Ring, something like
Yeah,
that.
if someone hits Carfag, he just goes Signet Rings to like Arakeen. But he's got his potential backup anyways. He can Signet Ring to Carfag himself if he needs to. He's got the Alliance now, so you can get a lot of troops in. And of course, as well, it's Guild Bank Raid, so
Yeah.
as long as you get some troops in, he's gonna get his Swordmaster here. And this is the problem with Tessia. Tessia's now gonna have to wait a bit to get hold of Swordmaster, which is the problem here. And with Leto chasing Mentat as heavily as he has been, I think you struggle to see it very often.
It's interesting. I don't know what Tessia does in this situation. I know we're not on Tessia's turn yet, but just thinking ahead. Diplomacy
Yeah.
for still suits for Leto. Okay.
Bale might hit Mentat with Tessie Humanity.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay.
I don't know what I don't. I just get a feeling they might do that. Does High Council now really help? I'm
Well,
not
for
so
the next
sure.
round.
Not
Yeah.
so sure, but I could see. I mean, you're gonna get some money back from Guild Bank Raid anyway, so I actually kind of like hitting Mentat now with Test. Put some people in a couple of weird spots, especially Leto. Leto is not going to be happy to have to discard a card here.
Pretty interesting. No one yet has taken the spy satellites or the restricted ordnance, and a bunch of players can take that this round.
Yeah,
Well,
there's a
too.
little bit of people are kind of being a bit wary of each other here. As I said, like we've had quarterfinal H, which was just complete all guns blazing, everyone just wrought carnage across the planet. It's a much more tactical affair here. People kind of trying to outfox one another, trying to outthink one another, kind of a bit more wary of what other people are trying to do, trying to counterplay. Here comes the test to Mentat here. I believe they have to at least put the agent down before they can. Yeah, they've got to put the agent down before people should discard officially.
Yeah. I'm just making sure we do it in the right order.
Just gonna message them saying, yeah, agent's got to be down here.
Yeah, you
They've
can't
got
just
to
see what
declare
they
where.
yeah, see what they
Yeah,
discard and then do something else.
Yeah. They've got to declare where they're actually going. Remember, of course, this is a card effect, so it's the usual case. You got to put your agent down, pay any relevant costs if needed, because it might affect what people actually end up deciding to discard here. Tech negotiation. Dreadnought? Whoa! Tessia Vernius is going off the deep end in this round. What is happening here?
Okay, this is
Well,
interesting.
well. Now the
What?
discards. And she goes Spice Satellites. Now, what is going on here?
Currently, we're 2 points for her.
Right,
so
now
awkward. Yeah.
now the characters are putting their discards here. Now, what is the plan here? Is this a denial?
I have no idea. I mean, I think maybe it's a denial against Memnon. Because Memnon would definitely love it here.
That's not a word I ever thought I'd hear in my life. A denial against Memnon.
Absolutely. Now you got to play the table.
Oh my goodness.
Calculated higher for the beast here.
Like this is completely non-standard from Bale. Like this seems on the face of it insane. It seems like anti-Tessia Spice. It's like the complete antithesis of her strategy here.
Yeah.
Unless she's gonna like duplicit away from she's gonna duplicit away from certain factions to pick up the influence elsewhere. But it just seems so crazy.
It's really weird. Yeah, it's super weird.
Very, very peculiar pick here. So we'll have to see how this plays out.
Yeah, I don't like this pickup from Tessia. It forks you in such a bunch of weird situations where you have to like care about certain factions you don't usually care about, and then not care about the ones you do. So they would love to go up with selective breeding and hit the Bene Gesserit, but now you just don't get a whole lot of value from that. So I don't know.
And now you're out of spice as well,
Yeah.
which is such an inhibitor. You can't hit selective, obviously. Text, there's lots of good text out there, which, you know, Hobbitsman look really juicy if you're just a little patient, but that's now against you. Restrictive Ordnance look pretty good. So this is, I don't know, like, this is... Spy Satellites, on the face of it, looks like a really, really attractive tech, but you have to buy it with a bit of meaning here, so... We'll see what the plan is. Maybe there's a plan here that Tessia's got in mind, which is very non-standard. It has to be. Otherwise, this could be like you just buying it to like take all the normal victory points and just trash it for a victory point. That's expensive.
Yeah.
Some players will do that though. 7 spice for a victory point. That's pretty pricey. Anyways, while we've been talking about that, Beast has gone to Carfag. Memnon's hit Arakeen here. Leto has done whatever Leto did. I didn't quite catch. Leto went to Siege.
Yeah.
More non-standard behavior.
And
going
didn't
on
throw
here?
anybody in, so they just didn't want to be involved.
No, just taking the water. Maybe there's some research station plans coming out here. Looks like. Very curious. Bene Gesserit's Sister for Tessia. It's always a solid card. Beast just have a couple of swords. He's going to tie up combat here with the Earl.
Wow.
And there are no combat cards around here, so it's going to tie up the first place. 4 Slurry to each is still pretty good, though. They'll be happy with that. Bit of an expensive 2 Slurry for Tessia. Probably not going to be too happy with the result of that. Liaison's starting to come in here. Here comes the influence cards. It has begun. High Council ready to rock and roll as well. I'm sure we'll see that imminently.
Here's Leto. Probably going to go get this from an alliance right
I
here.
think that looks a good shout here. He seems to be making a chase for water here, so it looks like that's what's going to happen and does. So Leto is prepping up for research station. That must be the plan here. It's a shame he doesn't have Carriel because he could make even more use out of that. But we'll see what the plan is. But that must be the only thing that makes any sense.
Pretty interesting.
Battle is going to occur as we see it here. So Memnon, again, stacking up on the resources. 3 Spice, 2 Slurry on this reveal. Holtzman Engine looks like is going to be a chase as well. That and High Council looks fairly likely. And no one can really get in the way of him either. He could definitely get hold of both pretty much unobstructed. Imperial bases that come back here. Even more water for the water gods.
Oh no, but no symbols for Memnon for that's so bad.
Nasty. Bad times for Memnon. Memnon might be forced into, I guess it's selective breeding.
Selective, yeah, it's gotta be.
Selective
right.
looks like it. Get the double trash with the Seats Reverend. Looks pretty fine there. I think that's could be more or less forced. No one can get there before him. Tessia and Beast, both without any spice here. Tessia draws both fold space cards and diplomacy and signet ring. It's almost overkill. Like, she's got loads of good cards here, and it's gonna be really hard to make use out of all of them. It's a little unlucky to draw both fold spaces here.
They're definitely looking at the Swordmaster this round. They have to go Swordmaster.
So you have to do it now. Yeah. We're round 5. Like, you really need to be making a push for it now. There is arguments to say you could, if you want to live on the wild side, just go Mentat and use and go that way. But I think Swordmaster's still totally fine. You might even get to Mentat back to you anyways. Leto's got a bizarre hand here. Leto's got a really wacky sort of hand. Beast hasn't drawn too great either. Tessia's got enough cards to make up for everyone else combined here.
And Secure Imperial Basin is our combat, so everyone's going to want to be in on this, especially the non-Leto players who have 0 and 1 water.
Yeah, that second place looks pretty nice. I suspect Beast will get involved here pretty heavily. He's got his signet ring. Beast is going to look to put some pressure on this one, surely, with training drones as well. If he wins it, great. If he gets second place, he'll happily take that as well.
Is this corner of the market ever going to happen for Beast? It can't, right? It doesn't seem.
I think he might find a term where he might buy a spice, but it seems very unlikely he's going to get 2 spice in this game unless he decides to go specifically against fighting, which he's not been doing.
What is going on here? Using the ring instead of the fold space. Okay.
Yeah, this is Spice Satellites. I'm telling you, this is what's going on here. She's happy to sacrifice the lower accesses here because she's getting hold of because she's got Spice Satellites. That's the backup here. That's that's what's going on here. This is very, very, very non-standard play here. Beast, and also going Swordmaster means Beast gets a bonus interstellar shipping. And of course, Tessia felt she had to go Swordmaster because otherwise Memnon would have got there. But of course, Memnon had no access, but she couldn't have known that.
Yep.
Very unlucky here. Here comes the double trash from Memnon.
Do you just get rid of Tuik now? I mean, it actually might be worth it.
I think players get very clingy on Esmar Tuek, but the problem is you've had no you have not done anything with the Spacing Guild, so I don't think you trash it yet.
Yeah.
I think you want to use it once and then probably trash it.
And then you get the extra trash.
Did they double trash?
No, I don't think so.
No, it looks like they're declining to. You don't have to double trash.
Yeah, they don't have to. Let them do it.
It looks like they're declining to double trash here. I think the player's saying you can if you want, but looks like they decline. Remember, rewards of course are mandatory, but
except for trashing.
Yeah.
Oh nope. Still thinking about it. I see.
Yeah.
So now he's got to decide whether to get rid of one of these dunes or maybe even a convincing 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Sitting on 9 persuasion, which is good, but not a whole lot of ways to get more cards in your hand this round.
Yeah, it's round 5. It's that really awkward time where like buying spice feels good because it's a point, but it is a little early if you don't have anything to go. But like Holtzman, apologies everyone. Like, I think if you're gonna go Holtzman, you're gonna do it. But obviously you can't go Holtzman. You've somehow still not drawn any counter access, which is absurd.
Oh, is he thinking about trashing his access card? That would be
No
so
way.
weird.
No way, he can't be doing that. You've only got 2 victory points from, and you've got no interstellar shipping. This seems insane. This seems really strange here. Why not just get rid of a Doom? What's the argument against just getting rid of a Doom card?
I have no idea. I think I'd do that, but or convincing. I usually don't like having both convincings in my deck, especially since they just bought 2 of the Arrakis liaisons. So
I mean, I don't know. It's kind of one of those ones where, like, I think it seems crazy for Memnon to go against this because Memnon just feels like he's going influence here. So to get rid of a convincing seems kind of crazy. And if you get rid of convincing, like that's a statement, and you're basically saying, right, I'm going to war, or you've got some specific strategy. I think a lot of people just see the 2 reveal and just like this is a little too strong. So you've got to be. If you're getting rid of convincing, you've got to feel pretty self-assured that it's the right decision for whatever strategy you're going to take forward. If you're going full combat, then of course get rid of them. You know, later on you don't really need them. But when you've got both dunes, like you really should probably get rid of one. And you're not going to sell the shipping, so getting that mining access is less important. Yeah, there goes the dune.
okay.
So it still has 8 persuasion to buy, though I don't think they're going for. I don't think they're going for specify just yet. Feels a touch early. When you've got 2 actions in hand here, just feels like a little too early.
Okay, interesting. So Leto could have opted to take the Holtzman this round with the Ixian Engineer, but decided against it and played the Signet Ring instead.
Go and high council first. I think Leto's more interested in restrictive ordnance. I have a funny feeling than Holtzman.
I think you're right. Well, it works really well with their secret forces. They've got a lot of good stuff for High Council.
Yeah, every reason to go High Council here. Gets it cheap, has plenty of bonuses for it. Makes total sense here. Back to Bale, who again playing this very unusual strategy here. Mentat is still available, and I think this hand is screaming to go Mentat here with so many access cards anywhere. I think this is just screaming to go for it here. I don't really like. Is there any other? This is any spots particularly you want to get there? Here we go. So test is incoming.
Secrets? No, it is going to be okay.
Yeah, man. That's the only thing that makes any sense with the hand you've got. You hope to draw a bum card like you've done. That you don't need to worry about. There you go. Your dagger's done. That's fine. So cards to be discarded here. Beast getting rid of his liaison tells you his strategy this turn.
Man, is this card just screwing everyone up, right?
I don't know. I mean, it's if it's timed well, it definitely can. I don't think it's gonna be the biggest difference this turn. You know, I think you just trash your other Dune here. Leto gets you the convincing, so he's the double mine here. Interesting strategy. Here goes the here comes Carfag for Beast.
Picks up a Bindu suspension. That'll be handy in the future.
Always nice. I have noticed with Bindu, a lot of players are starting to not use it for the
skip.
Oh, not for the skip. Yeah, I don't know why that is, but it's gone quite out of fashion as of late. Players feel it's more valuable to dive into a certain space rather than letting the turn pass, which is curious. But I have noticed that.
Can be pretty useful sometimes, though, when you really want to know what somebody's holding.
Yeah, Beast has got a ton of Solari here as well. He wants to start using it, but currently it's just everything's getting put in front of him here. High Council and Swordmaster both taken out as well, and Mentat as it turned out. So
Signet Ring pickup for Memnon, and now Memnon has access to that interstellar space. Not interstellar, I'm sorry. The tech negotiation space.
Finally finds it, and you feel like that's gotta be tempting here. Like you feel like Memnon with Holtzman just feels like a really nice natural pairing.
Yep.
Really, really strong combination there. So I suspect what we'll see. Leto's got 2 actions here. So what's Leto's intentions? He's got a ton of water here. He could go Haga Basin. I'd go Haga Basin first because no one else can get Great Flat. You have 6 Spice. Do you use that with Ixion Engineer to take Holtzman ahead of time?
That's what I was thinking. Like, that's such a huge play. I think it's very, very good for Leto.
Mm. Restrictive looks nice, but it jumps you in front here. And you obviously want to buy in text. I think it's what we're going to see here, and this is going to be very disappointing for somancy here.
Well, it depends. Are they looking to win this combat? Because if they get restricted, they could still win.
I think Holtzman's going here. No, it is restrictive. Wow. So,
yeah.
Okay. So going combat instead of buying here. So a little fortunate for Memnon. Perhaps Spaceport turns up.
Probably one of the least bought of all the techs, I think.
Yeah, it's a little underpowered for its value. I think that's fair. Like late game, it can pull out a couple of jams. Obviously, if you can get it like super early, it can be very effective if the rogue cooperates with you effectively as well. So
absolutely.
But it is a very high variance card. It can be really good or just not really do much for you at all. Here comes the first of the fold space of a Tessia. Here comes the steel suit, which makes total sense. So we'll get the point back here. I can only assume that Tessia is at some point intending to trash spy satellites. It's the only thing that makes any sense here.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's very, again, this is very, very curious spy satellites pick. We are baffled, as you can tell. Just gonna put the dreadnought in. I like the idea of putting an extra troop in. Just kind of force people to up the ante here a little bit. If they want to get anything, they gotta put some more stuff in here. A couple of daggers for the beast should be good. Here comes the signet ring for Holtzman. Somancy gonna be relieved. He's gonna pick this up here. Is he? He's considering. I think he's considering dreadnought.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
Yeah, he is, because of course the spice gets in Holtzman anyways. I think dreadnought. He's trying to think of is it worth making the dreadnought here? I'm not sure it does. So here comes Holtzman here. So obviously big pickup for the Earl. Gonna need that. Dreadnought turns up as well.
Detonations. Yeah.
Detonations is available. Beast is going to be looking at that with some interest here, surely. With tons of firepower.
As a note, there is a wind traps here, which you were talking up earlier. It's a pretty strong card, strong tech.
Yeah, it's a great card with the Beast. Like, thoroughly enjoy using it because again, you just hit hardy warriors all the time with that card. You win a lot of combats, and you just keep getting your water refunded to you, and it's so effective and just constantly put the pressure in. Probably a bit late now. I think someone will probably grab it specifically for the water on the pickup, like kind of I got not much else to do sort of card. But you know, early game, if you can pick up like first turn, and I've done that with Beast. I've experimented with Beast games where I've picked up wind traps immediately and just hit the Fremen like as often as I could, and yeah, it could be pretty devastating.
So now that Beast is revealed at 14 power, is Leto going in here? Can they do it?
It would force a tie, but Beast has got 3 intrigue cards. I think we'll put Leto off here.
Yeah.
We know that Beast doesn't have any combat intrigues, but Leto doesn't, and something I talk about a lot with intrigues, like the power of the unknown. You could have the 3 worst intrigues in the game, but no one else knows you've got the 3 worst intrigues in the game, and people will not make moves against you because you could have anything. If Leto knew what Beast had, I think they would be very tempted to secret force this, but I don't think they're going to do it. But I think they've set themselves up for great flat here to hit this. Smuggling it is. Okay, so again, just setting up for later on down the line.
Sure.
For Interstellar fairly soon. Reckoning, of course, that Beast needs to hit... I think... I see what's going on here. They're basically gambling that... Well, Beast doesn't have to go Swordmaster right away. Everyone else has got it, so ignore what I was about to say. Secrets for Tessia.
Oh, interesting.
And the mystery grows.
They could go to Hardy here and go up to, what, 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So. They would also draw. Not worth it.
Picked up Diversion.
Okay.
Which is not a very good... It's not a very good one, to be honest, folks. Like, it's out of the new ones it came with Rise of Ict, it's probably the weakest, I'd argue.
It is, I think, the weakest, yeah.
When you get it to hit and like get some extra shipping and get the troops in, it's like nice. You basically like an extra landing rights for a turn, but it's a bit ham-fisted to use, unfortunately. So here comes the Memnon with 6-7 to buy.
Hmm.
So
What do you do here? You already
Duncan
have a good
Duncan
deck.
Loyal could be of interest here. Going a little bit of shipping with Federkin. G manipulation turns up, they'll take that happily. And double crossing, gonna take blue out of the combat.
Ooh, oh, big
Yeah.
game. Yep.
This is the danger. This was the danger of only having one troop in, and I think you've got to be careful of double cross because you can get things like that can happen.
Oh, but
The
Leto
danger
might
of just
actually.
playing one troop in that game.
Leto hasn't
Leto-
revealed. Leto could have the last laugh here and can just say like, "I'll reveal for 2, throw in these secret forces, and now what?"
Well, he can't deploy them.
Oh, that's true. Never
Can't
mind.
deploy
Ignore
them.
me. It doesn't deploy them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, that's the thing. When there's a lot of intrigues about, you've got to be careful of only putting one troop because you run the risk of exactly that happening.
Court
So a little
intrigue.
unfortunate. A bit will feel a little unfortunate, but you leave yourself susceptible to that strategy. Tessia's going to reveal, keep the other false twists later on. 3 daggers available, and he's going to take all of them.
Mhm.
Wants that extra water. Going to try and shut Memnon out of the water game here a little bit. Which will do the job. Memnon has no intrigues. Battle will be resolved as we see it. Beast takes the Imperial Basin.
Beast is looking pretty scary here.
Beast got a lot of potential here. I think everyone's looking reasonably solid here. I wouldn't say anyone's like a massive favorite, but Beast is really looking to threaten the late game, which is what people got to be careful of here. Obviously, Tessia is going to try and make a push for the couple of alliances here as well. Leto is going to look to cash in the Ixen Engineer at some point fairly soon, but Memnon now has Holtzman, so there's options there. I feel like Memnon probably needs to try and find. I don't know. The problem is I don't know how Mennon's quite getting to 10 here at the moment. Memnon needs to find something extra. I can see sort of 7, 8, 9 VP.
It's got to win
Like
some
10
combats.
and above.
Yeah.
10, yeah, and it's going to be hard to win combats with the way Beast is set up now. You've got nothing in Garrison. Tessia's Dreadnought up as well. I think things are looking a little tricky for somancy here. Anyways, it's the Desert Power combat is up next, which is kind of a bit mediocre. It's really about first place here when it's in like turns 5 and 6. If it's early game, second place is fine, but now it feels a little undervalued. So this is going to be pretty much go hard or go home here.
Yep.
Interstellar for Beast, obviously. And Beast still needs to obviously pick up his Swordmaster, which he'll do. He'll find his way there.
Seems like an easy harvest at Imperial Basin. I mean, you could also just Interstellar. I think that's what he's thinking of. Do we Interstellar or do we just get 3 Spice? Because the Spice here is...
Spice is nice.
It's either 3 or 2, so... You know.
Yeah, but I think it's I think you just got to do it. I think the question is, does he go and take the tech or not? And he does opt to take a tech here. I think he's going to just take wind traps and just take the water here. Yeah,
Absolutely.
that's exactly what he's going to do. Get the water, which I told you it was kind of what's happened. Cycle through the text a little bit here. Just deciding he's happy with that. I think I'm okay with this, and does. There's the invasion ships. A little late now, unfortunately. Don't know if anyone's actually going to get hold of that. Beast gets his bump with the Fremen as well, finds his point there, takes him to 6. He is currently in the lead. Here comes Esmar Tuek here, so this is now time to start looking to buy some spice and get that bump on the Spacing Guild here.
Yep.
So intentions being made pretty clear here. I think he's gonna try and just kind of maybe just buy his spice and get himself out of trouble here, but I fear the game's might gonna have to go long. If this game ends in the next couple of turns, it's not gonna be long enough for Memnon to get over the line here. So needs a little bit of luck, I think, with some combats being shared about.
Agreed.
If Beast just dominates it, like it's just over.
Kind of interesting that he went to Arakeen, actually, instead of like... Oh, he doesn't even have access to Siege Tabor. Oh, no.
No, he's not even there. He's not. There's been very little factioning from Memnon, so that's restricting options a little bit here. I think Siege would have been quite nice, obviously trying to hit Research Station, get some more spices flows going, but Arakeen with Esmar is totally fine. I don't see anything wrong with it. Leto has now got some calls to make. Here comes the Great Flat. He didn't do it last turn. I thought he might. He's going to do it now. Now, what exactly he's going to do with the spice is hard to know. Might Leto be considering going adventuring here?
Might head up, yeah, and travel
Maybe
without
there's
moving.
maybe there is. Put in some troops with highliners, keep some garrisoned as well for next round. I don't know. Always, you've got to always be conscious when people go above that 6, when it's like turn 6 and onwards. You've got to keep an eye for that. And you look at the text, obviously, and you look at text and think, is there anything that makes complete sense in going for immediately? And there isn't anything great. Invasion ships looks alright, but it feels a bit late in the game to pick that up now. So it's, I don't know. Interesting to see what the plan is from Leto. He might also just be getting set up for some selective breeding.
Yeah.
Might also be the intention. I think the fact he's putting in some troops here tells the story. I think that means he's gonna looking to not hit combat spaces here.
Oh, to not hit? You think so? Okay.
I think when you put in 2 troops like that immediately, I think that's kind of indicating that you're not gonna go combat spaces later on. So you're kind of putting him in now because you're not gonna have a chance to do so later. I think he's kind of leading towards selective breeding, and then maybe Mentat if he can still get to it or something. I think that might be what's going on here. I don't know. We'll see. There's kind of this weird half and half. Here comes research for Tessia Vernius, which makes sense because her hand is atrocious.
Yep. 2 convincing.
Atrocious. Finds both convincings and
Fall space.
there's the falls. It's a good card actually. Yep. This is a definite Spice Must Flow turn for her, which is pretty good. She wants to also start making progress with the Emperor as well. You've got the Bene Gesserit track to take the alliance of, so a lot of options here. False Space makes it just a little bit easier.
We'll
Beast
see
is up.
here.
Beast is shifting. Beast has got Worm Riders. There's a lot of options here. Bounty Hunter as well. Needs to take Sword. This is the weird question. It's turn 6. Do you take Swordmaster? I don't know. I think I actually might take Mentat here. You can get Swordmaster in free whenever you want. I would actually like taking Mentat. You've got plenty of cash. I don't think you're going to hit High Council anymore. It doesn't make any sense. So I actually quite like going Mentat here instead. Deny Leto it. And you can always just pick up... You can pick up Swordmaster later on. You know, like, you've got the money to burn. You don't have to go Swordmaster. Yeah, no, I think I like going Mentat here. But never mind. So he's going to drop this to go back up and take the extra cash. Which is fine, I guess. Although I would ask what you're doing with this cash.
Yeah, I don't know. Are they going to get a High Council this game? Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to really buy Spice.
If you're going to do that, like... What are you doing with the cash? What objective does that achieve here? Like, High Council just seems really weird for you now. Like, you've gone completely anti-buying.
Yeah.
It would seem a little strange here. Your deck is also not exactly... It's down to 13 cards still, so it's not terrible at this point, but it's still a little uncomfortable. Memnon is up.
I'd consider harvesting here if I was Memnon.
Yeah, he's got carry-all, but he's not really had much chance to do much with it, which is kind of funky here. No, Carthag it is. Okay, so picks up Rapid. That's not a bad card. I think he'll not be completely upset to see it, but I think you're going to struggle to find use. Here comes the trash of Esmar. It has served its purpose. So he's going to find another way to get this second point here. I don't know how they're going to muster it, though. I can only assume that Earl Memnon is considering maybe a highliner later on.
Yes, I think so. Yeah, I think
it feels like that's where this is going now.
They have
to track that.
I always feel like when I play Memnon, I'm like 2 points behind. Like, but if you get a win with a 2-pointer, then you're in good shape.
Yeah, and getting an extra point. So we'll see what the plan is. Gonna be interesting to see. Memnon has 10 persuasion, 11 persuasion actually as well, so they can afford to still do some actions. So it's not too bad. Leto back up here. Sure, Leto goes Mentat with the dagger. I would have thought. No. Going Siege.
Okay.
So Leto must be saying, right, research station is the plan here.
There you go.
Also wants to get on this combat.
Is Beast going to even get in here? Because now this Worm Riders isn't looking so hot.
Yeah, all of a sudden, like, all the cities have just been completely bombed. But fortunately, he has Bounty Hunters, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Which is very fortuitous here. So he can go to Carthag, take 2 Solari if he wanted. which is pretty crazy.
Can get up to
He'll
12.
get his Worm Rider used, surely.
Yeah. Huh. Interesting.
Let's see what the plan is. Here comes Fold Space. Is this just going to go, like, Wealth or something? I feel this is just going to be kind of like an obligatory, something like that. No, he's going to go double... Going to go for the double Intrigue here. So finds War Chest and Challenge Chest. Ooh, that's awkward.
That's really awkward.
That is really awkward. And the worst part... Well, she had to use Charisma now to not use up air, to not lose potential. I mean, obviously, Secrets is safer now. No one has Infiltration, as it turns out. But, yeah, pulling Challenge Shares is great. Finding War Chest is totally fine. To find both is really dicey. How are you going to find 17 Solari?
I don't know. Not
You're
this
never
game.
going to find it. Like, unless you just bomb shipping and conspiring, which, you know, conspiring she might consider doing because she's not actually gone Emperor yet, but, ugh.
Interesting, yeah.
That's really awkward here. So Beast, it feels like, I mean, City Visit feels like the plan here. With your bounty.
I'd probably Bindu first, actually, just to know whether this is going to work.
I was going to say, this actually is a really good spot to Bindu and draw and pass. It's a really good time to do it, to kind of force other people to see what they're going to do first here.
Oh, he's giving it up.
No!
Well, that's 5 spice.
Well. Is the Beast considering some Hana action here, maybe? For next turn? Or is he prepping? Oh, he's going to do this and take the Mentat is what he's going to do.
Huh.
Maybe that's the plan. Here comes the training drone, so he's going to get in here. But I think this must be it. No one's taking Mentat yet. He feels like he might as well just do it now. I guess that's what's going on here. And he's got Bounty Hunter potential anyways. I don't know. I'm not too sure Tomas is entirely sure what he's planning to do here.
I agree. Yeah, I'm not sure what he's doing exactly either. Is this are you going in here for second place? Because you're not going to win first place. Then if you're...
Yeah, it's the thing. I feel like when you make the move, you've got to be pretty sure of what you're doing. When you're doing it and you're kind of not sure as you're doing it, that's, you know, it's not ideal. It's good for us because we get an idea of kind of where the mind's at here. But I feel like you've got to be ready to make the move, and when you do it, committed to it. Still doesn't take calculated higher. Maybe they've seen my strategy of waiting until your inferior reveal turn and then taking Mentat. This is a super duper ambush, but alas. Here comes reveal the High Council for Memnon. So there goes he to the shipping. He's
boom.
There.
Connections
Makes its mark. Trashes a Dune out of his hand here, so he has got plenty to buy spice.
Only a 9 card, 10, 11 card deck. Very, very thin deck for Memnon. That's what you got to do.
Yeah, it's made good use. I mean, remember he had a double trash. He's got Jean and Federkin and Reverend and the Xytrohs Mother. That's a lot of trashing.
Yes.
And he hits Selected Breeding as well, so a lot of cards have flown out of this deck here. It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Yeah, very careful curating of this deck by Somancy here, taking both the Dunes, taking both the daggers, taking the Esmar out, everything that doesn't give you persuasion, so that you're just going to be drawing nothing but persuasion the rest of the game. I mean, that's what you got to do.
Yeah, so that's pretty much the plan here. So I think he's gonna maybe, if he feels he can get a decent combat in somewhere, maybe do. I think largely Somancy might just turtle up here. But he's only got 4 points, and it's going to be difficult to buy enough spice to get you the win here. So I think there is... I don't know, we'll see what the plan is, but I think Somancy's going to need a little bit of help here to try and get over the line here. Back to Leto, who is in the tank.
What is Leto doing here? It's going to be a diplomacy.
Yeah, you got to use the diplomacy for sure.
I guess the question is, do you highliner here or save it for next time?
No, he's not going to do it yet. No, it's Desert Power. Desert Power is a great combat. Desert Power is a great combat to hit hardy warriors because you're pretty much always water neutral.
Yes.
He might just garrison. I think he just takes it in garrisons. It denies Tessia from going there if that was the plan, which she couldn't get there as it turned out. But I think, yeah, just garrison up here. I think it's totally fine.
Yeah, makes sense to me.
So Bale's got plenty of persuasion. You've got 6, 8, 9, 10... Charisma, you kind of want to use... This is where this is awkward now for Bale here. Bale kind of wants to use Charisma, but it's kind of not really helping him to use Charisma here. Again, this is just how this hand is just super awkward here. The fact is Chowam and War Chest is just like End Diversion just bloating up his intrigues here. You can't just discard them. Like they have to be used.
I think I'd
So
smuggle here just to set up for the extra Solari. I mean, you got to be careful that you're not going to get that many more looks at the shipping track. So I think like a
yeah,
smuggling here makes a lot
problem.
of sense.
You might not see Interstellar of this game, but might feel there's nothing better else to do here. You've got to start trying to do something cash wise.
Yeah, this makes sense.
And that's exactly what we're going to see here. You've got to at least try and get one of these cashed in.
Yes.
You could still just smuggle cash in and chow immediately and get a point. So this feels like half a victory point basically doing smuggling. So I think you gotta bite the bullet here a little bit. But it's War Chest might end up being used as an actual combat card. I fear. Beast is going to reveal for 3 persuasion, gets a sword for his troubles as well. I'm not actually sure I pick up anything as the Beast here. I don't think there's anything here that's really of assistance to you.
Yeah, I kind of agree. You don't want your deck to get even bigger. It's giant right now.
Maybe local fence.
Maybe.
But that's a big maybe. And the thing is, well, you're going to be back in turn orders here, so you might get you might get kind of squeezed out of spaces. But man. I think, yeah, Beast is looking. They've got a lot of resources. It's a bit of a free punt, I guess. Memnon will pick up his first Spice Must Flow. Much needed 5th point here, kind of keep him in the race.
Can't really count Memnon out yet. I think it all depends on what these conflict 3s are. Like if we start seeing like Grand Vision, that starts to favor Memnon because they wanted the game to go longer.
Yeah, they need it too. So it's going to be interesting how this goes here. Beast needs to take their swords. They've done. And Tessia has... So Tessia has 9 persuasion as it is. Does not need to use charisma, but if they keep charisma, they risk secret stealing. So you could hold on to it and just bargain that Memnon's going to go into Stellar and hope that Leto does not go secret stealing. But he's not got too influence with the faction, so it's very attractive for him to do so.
It is, yeah.
That's the problem. So he might use charisma, even though it doesn't do anything, just to get it out of the deck. And just basically discard it, which feels kind of bad, but that's the way it's drawn. And the thing is, if he literally just buys Spice Must Flow and doesn't buy anything else, that's a super suspicious charisma.
Yeah, I know,
and
right?
And tell the players that he's used it because he has nothing else he can use. And the question will be then, what does he have? So...
We can't also forget that this Spy Satellites for Tessia puts them at 7 points currently. They are in the lead if everything... stays the same.
You're going to take a liaison and get out of it.
Yep.
Yeah, I can understand that. So there's some potential Spice Must Flowing kind of as a backup here. But yeah, they do have the extra point from Spice Satellites. So we'll see what the plan is there.
Do you pick up the mission area here? Is that worth your time?
No. I think it's just not practical enough here.
Yeah.
I mean, mission area is... You've got to have someone like the Voice, preferably, or you've got to be Helena. I think outside of that, it's way too circumspect to take reliably. Leonard's going to take Desert Power down here. Water and Spice for Beast puts him into Highliner range.
And the combat is... It is Grand Vision.
It is Grand Vision.
Ooh.
Memnon will be fairly happy with this. He feels like he's got an extra turn here. This game is going to go a little bit longer yet. No one's going to win this outright here, so some time for Memnon to try and really get into action here.
Interesting.
He is scoring. Leto's got both his daggers. Beast has got Beast has got a starter hand he's managed to draw, which is pretty impressive.
We don't need special cards.
You don't need it. just have an alliance and Beast ring and you're good.
There you go.
No. And Tessia's also got kind of not the best hand either, actually. So nothing spectacular in players' hands, all kind of mediocre-ish.
I'd say that Memnon's hand is quite good here. So they can even go combat if they really wanted to.
Memnon's not bad here. I can't say it's outstanding. The
problem
is that it's kind of always awkward when you're going Spice Must Flow to have like an outstanding hand, like you just buy Spice. You know, it's all about... You obviously make sure you're going to get the spices. What else can you do on the side at the same time? But it's kind of, again, it's like, I don't really know what Beast wants to do. Beast still needs to make his way to the Fremen Or Memnon here to make way to Fremen preferably. So maybe you still suit here, get the second water.
Yeah.
But you've set yourself up for Interstellar, so you should really do that.
Yeah, that makes
Take,
sense.
take the double bump and then just try and smuggle somewhere.
Do you trash anything here? Maybe the
Nah, I mean,
reconnaissance?
I wouldn't bother. I
No.
think it's so late. It's a bit late in the game. You got 6 cards here. I don't think it really makes a difference. If you're gonna trash anything, I'd probably trash the Fed again.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point.
I'd trash itself because it's kind of done its job here. You know, you kind of want to get your high influence cards coming out later on, so maybe even trash Federican. But that's kind of a little bit off the beaten track. I accept that. Leto hand feels like it's just screaming at Men's out here with the double daggers. You look at that kind of a bit grossly. Unless there's anything Leto really wants to. Leto is now going to be second guessing with the beast about Highliners here, and that's going to be playing on the mind. There's no amazing techs here. He might consider invasion ships. Maybe Leto might dagger invasion ships and use that to force his way into Interstellar, perhaps. But you're not going to get much value out of it, is the problem.
Yeah,
but
I
it
don't
garrisons
know.
troops up, which doesn't feel too bad. You got Secret Force as well, which doesn't feel too terrible here.
I don't know. I feel like invasion ships is just a little too late at this point, unless you have, for instance, rapid mobilization with Memnon. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's the only time I'd see it used here. All the other players.
Definitely the downside. But what else do you do here? Like, what else are you doing with the spice?
I think you just have to throw in Highliner, unfortunately. If you don't throw in Highliner, well, do you care if Beast wins this combat?
I mean,
don't know
that's
if
the
you
thing.
do.
You have to look at alliances whenever Grand Visions comes out. Spacing and Fremen look pretty locked up here. Grand Visions kind of ones where like there are times where it's very curious, and it always makes people kind of play a bit funky here.
Yeah.
So I think he's just gonna chase Bene Gesserit and kind of see how this plays out here. But I don't think if he's gonna Highliner, he's not gonna do it straight away here.
It's gonna be
Hagga
Basin.
Now that is even more suspicious, just taking even more spice. Now, what is going on here?
Interesting. Needs his point with the Bene Gesserit. Makes sense. Makes sense.
Very curious here.
Huh.
Why all the spice, Leto? Why all the spice?
Maybe he thinks it's gonna go 2 more rounds.
Let's give it a couple of rounds here. Tessia, of course, has this really awkward spot here. Once again, now Tessia surely, I think, is gonna probably want to smuggle a signet ring, and you duplicit away from like the Fremen, take the bump with the Emperor. Again, you got spy satellites, so, but it's not really that great. I mean, the question is, are you likely to actually just outright take the alliance as Tessia here? I don't know if that's the case. It's very awkward. You'd have to like duplicit and then go wealth, and then go there again next turn. It doesn't feel good at all.
Man, hard. This is a hard turn for Bale. I'm not sure what I would do here. I think you're right. I think I'd smuggle.
You've got to get Chow online here.
Yeah.
Like you just got to do it. You've got to get that VP in the bank here and call it a day. You want to make use of diversion as well. And like you could use that as a surrogate smuggling, hit hardy warriors maybe.
Yeah.
This is not a bad combat for you as Tessia. Like if you do have intentions of going for the Emperor Alliance, this is a chance to do it with Grand Vision.
Yeah.
Basically, the Emperor is a triple bump. If you think of it that way, it's a triple bump and two soldiers for the next combat. And you could couple that with a duplicit with your signet ring and take the Emperor Alliance outright this turn. If you win this combat.
I mean, that's the question right now. Can they win this combat? I'm not
They
100% sure.
If they're going to win this combat, they've got to get in early. And they've got to, like, get in quick. Because, again, you got 2 players of Highliners. And, like, if it's a straight point for the Beast, he just takes it with Bene Gesserit or the Emperor. It's just a point to point. Leto's a little bit more complicated. He would probably take the Emperor Alliance, you would imagine. He might get even fancy and challenge you with the Bene Gesserit and put you in a really uncomfortable spot. So
yeah,
there are reasons for going for this. It doesn't feel amazing, but as I always say, if Tessia plays, you've usually got to find a VP, maybe 2 victory points, effectively via combat. Realistically, I think a lot of the time. So it's a little awkward, but there is a diversion chance here. Diversion, I believe, is units, not troops.
it's units, I think, right? Yeah, it's
It is
units.
units, so you can hit that with your
With
Hardy
the
Warriors here
dreadnought,
and
yeah.
get that off.
Nice.
Maybe he's gonna look to go Signet Ringing first and then hit Hardy Warriors later. No, he's gonna smuggle in the end and
Yeah.
just get Charm Shares done and dusted. But you can tell Bale doesn't like this, so it's gonna be a goes up. Hardy Warriors is the plan. I think
Okay.
that's I think yeah, Hardy Warriors must be. I think the idea to not cash that in with diversion. I think Hardy Warriors is incoming. Here comes Bindu for the beast.
Do they pass?
Picks up Dune. It's kind of not what you're looking for here.
No.
There's not a lot. There's no value in trashing anymore, though. There's no point. So I think you just keep hold of it. Trashing's like completely irrelevant now. You might as well hold on to it. So.
I don't think you can trash with this card.
Oh
Unfortunately.
no, of course you can't. Sorry,
There's
no, you're right.
there's a bunch of others that do that.
Yeah, here comes research. So Beast is thinking call the market, maybe. Just has nothing else to do. So wants to take some actions. Find shifting. Hello.
Yes.
A lot happening here. So Beast is keeping his options open here. Wants to buy spice and get some VP going here.
Okay.
He's gonna put in his free troops as you can do, which is very nice. Memnon is up.
Mentat. Here we go.
Mentat takes that as well. Yep, this is a good time to do it as any.
Well, this basically tells Leto they don't have to worry, right? I mean, they can just like ignore Highliner for the next action and wait.
I think with the action behind as well. This is gonna put Leto's not gonna get involved here. He's gonna but the problem is though is that Leto's got both of his Spacing Alliance cards in his hand now is the problem. I don't think he's actually got any further access in his deck.
I think you're right.
Which is awkward, to put it mildly. And Mentat's gone as well. Here we go. Memnon goes invasion ships. Whoa.
Wow.
Rapid mobilization is being readied here.
This is the cool stuff you can do with Memnon in the tech negotiation with your ring.
Memo Quarters turns up. That's a big tech. Leto's looking at that with glee, surely.
Yes.
That's a huge tech for him. It's like you're pretty close to getting the point. And you got 2 daggers. I'm not lying, I would consider dreadnoughting here just to get memo quarters. You know the game's going to go a little bit longer here. I think it should be at least considered.
I really like it.
Again, bear in mind you're arming up for potential Highliner next turn or something like that nature, and you're gonna absolutely bomb the next conflict. Dreadnoughts are great.
Oh, there is kind of a worry if you're Leto though that you won't have access to Highliner next round.
Yeah, well I don't know. I mean, unless you want to have a little search of their deck.
No,
but I don't think they have any further access. So they've not got any fold spaces that I'm aware of.
I don't think so. No.
And the only others, I'm pretty sure of all they've got. So if that is the case, this is very awkward for Leto here. He's kind of like has to do it now. But it's a very strange spot. Mentat's gone, which I think would have been the plan. Again, I think Leto probably should just hit that immediately, but I guess just wanted to get involved here. Yeah, Dreadnought. Yeah, I had a feeling this was going to happen here.
This is going to be a detonation devices. Probably.
He might go memo quarters still. I think he's going memo quarters. I don't know.
Nope, 3.
No, he is going to go. He's going detonations. Okay. He needed the 3rd tech, of course. He's Ixan engineer, so he needs to buy a tech somewhere.
Yep.
So detonations is incoming. So I guess he figures he's got a high line now. That's the intention. He feels he's got to high line it now. Because he's not going to be able to do it next turn, so he's committing here. Here comes Tessia. Tessia's going to make this a bit awkward now. Tessia is going to barrel in with diversion. So they're all going in. Diversion's going to kick in here. So that'll be 2 more troops into the combat here. And Tessia Vernius is prepping for this Emperor triple bump.
There it is.
Here comes 2. And here we go. Spy Satellites is now trashable as well. Bear that in mind. If she gets a couple of spies, that could be trash for the point here.
Pretty huge play by Bale. We
Yeah,
have
we,
hall
we,
protectors
we,
come up.
we saw that we saw this that it just had to be the case. Here comes this. So she reckons Chaum shares and take a point with the victory, and that's the game over. That's the intentions here. So Leto has to highlight now, doesn't he?
Yeah, if Leto doesn't win this, it's over.
But I'm not sure Leto's got enough in the tank to win it. This is going to be a.
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean,
got secret forces plus restricted.
Tessia has an action though, so this might not. Tessia has an action behind, so it's. I think it's uncertain. This is very unclear. Beast has free actions in the bank as well. He's already committed some troops. He might get stuck in his signet rings in hand. This is far from one here from Tessia Vernier. She is stepping into the lion's den. Oh, Memnon's got rapid mobilization. Like, there's a lot happening this turn.
Did Beast just get like cut in line basically? I mean, I feel like because of the they did pass? Or no, they didn't. They
Beast was warming up for combat here, and now is probably having second thoughts.
Yeah.
What you've got to determine as Beast here is: do you think Tessia wins this combat if you don't get involved? And on the face of it, you've got to feel like the answer that's probably yes. You feel like you've got to fight Tessia and stop her from winning this. You've only got 6 points. You feel like you've kind of got to contest this. You can't just let Tessia have this, really. With spice satellites is there, and like in theory she could go and pick up some spice somehow, some way, maybe. I don't know how she exactly should do that, but you know, people have crazy means of doing stuff that you forget about. Cards you don't remember. Like someone's got G manipulation. Do you remember who it was? It wasn't. It's not Tessia.
It's not Tessia. It's Memnon.
But it's beside the point. Yeah, but we know that. But does Beast remember that? I don't know.
I don't know.
These are the things that can happen when you're in the fog of war. You forget these things. So it's easy for us sitting here. We can see everything going on, but you know, when you're in that position, this is a quarterfinal match. You know, stakes are raising here, so you can miss stuff.
Gonna play the diplomacy. What's going on here?
First, I wonder what the plan is here. Thing is, again, Beast has only got 2 alliance victory points here so far. Feels maybe Committee has to get involved, but I don't know.
Man.
I think it's very awkward here. How much persuasion has he got? 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 10, 11.
Yeah, he's got enough. This, I mean,
but
if you don't harvest spice...
Not if he does everything. Not if he does everything. He'd have to hit like Arakeen with Signet Ring to redraw a card here to kind of get 2 more actions.
I think this is an Imperial Basin. Oh, no, it's Arakeen.
I think that's what it is. He wants to draw cards. He wants to... Oh, he finds Local Fence. That's a nice card to find, actually. He wants to give himself action, so he wants to buy Spice and use his action here, so that's why he's going Arakeen. I think you've got to get stuck in. You feel like you've got to challenge Tessia here. You can't... With 8 victory points, she's cashed as well late instead of taking Spice. That's got to look super suspicious. Whoa, he doesn't! Whoa. Okay, now this is curious. He's going to have to get involved surely soon. Wow. But now Leto is going to probably, you'd think, is going to highline here, and it's going to work itself out. This is all very strange now.
Does that mean that there's enough power in Tessia's bank to get this done? I think there might be.
Oops. Sorry about that, if you heard that bang there, everyone.
Oh,
so here comes the steel suits. And Memnon doesn't put in, of course. Memnon's just prepping up for next turn, hoping there's a next turn, basically. Praying there's a next turn somehow. You have to hope there's a next turn as Memnon. If it ends this turn, like, whatever happens, you're dead, so... So Leto's got to be counting this out. So let's count this out of Leto. Highliners, 5 troops for 10. Restrictive is 14. Your garrison, troop, and dreadnought is 19. Secret forces is 23. Your dagger is 24. 24 you'd feel is possibly going to be good enough for the win here. If you don't win this, is the game going to end?
Yes.
I mean, like, you've got to be worried it is. I would be very concerned here that if you let Tessia win this, this game possibly ends. And players will know, like, the top 3 scoring second places of these quarterfinals will also go through, but price of division is currently 11 victory points. So if you're in a low-scoring game, it's you win or you're out, and that will be on the back of some players' minds who are keeping track of this. Believe me, they are. I think Highliner. I think he's going to be
He's
backed into a
got to.
corner here.
He has to. This is like the most awkward Highliner too.
He has to bait another turn happen anyways because he's got Ixin engineering coming. Yeah, he's backed into a wall. He's got to just throw everything in here. Beast is going to be so glad they didn't heavily commit here.
Yeah.
Like, this is going to turn out, and you just throw, throw the world in. So here we go. This is going to be 23 strength plus a dagger reveal for 24. Just buckets of dudes. Absolute buckets of dudes here.
Should be 9 total units, I believe.
Yeah, 18. Dreadnought for 21. Oh, it's going to be even more strength. That's going to be 25 with the restricted. My apologies. I think Leto. Oh no! Oh Leto! Oh, Leto's trying to shortchange this. Oh, this is so dangerous. That's going to be 24 strength. That might not be enough. When there's city access over, you don't know what Tessia's got. Oh no, it's just a troop. Oh, I don't like leaving him out. This is so risky. What are you going to do with this troop next turn? You're not going to win a combat out of him. Just get him in.
It should be enough, I think.
I'm
maybe
not so sure. I'm not so sure here. Carthag's sitting right there. Like, you spike an ambush.
Yeah.
You got swords in hand. Oh, this is dangerous from Habboot. I'm not sure the risk is worth it. I think you just get everything in here and you just lock this up and you get this going another turn here.
That's a good point. It's all up to the deck.
You need that turn for Ixin Engineer so you can trash that.
Yep.
You've got first access next turn so you can hit Research Station immediately if you want to do that. You've got Interstellar. Tessie's gonna pot shot here. This is a free win the game trip here for Bale here. This is just a
no bypass protocol.
Finds bypass. Okay, so maths is he puts in the troop that's 18.
It's not enough.
So that's gonna get him to 21. But does Tessia Vernius, instead of cashing in Chowam, decide to use War Chest for its combat ability here?
I mean, that would deny Leto a point with the detonation devices, so I think that's the right play if you can't.
I think the fact that she's actually put in the troop here, I think is highly considering using War Chest for the combat, and is going to look to hit like Wealth or something next turn to cash in Chowam shares. I think that's what's going on here.
Makes sense.
Because you're never going to be able to get Chowam and the reveal for War Chest, so why not just take War Chest for the combat, try and take this down, and then go from there. And if you're lucky, you might even hit... you could even hit to the Victor, pull that, play it, trash your Spy Satellites. Like, it'd be a crazy fluke, but... in Tree Deck, you never know what you're going to get, folks. And the great thing with Spy Satellites, you can trash it whenever you want, and that will still trigger endgame. I know it's a 1 out of, like, 50-something, probably, in the Intrigue deck, but, you know, sometimes those 2% have got to cash in sometimes. But I think this was being prepped here for Tessia. So Beast now is unbelievably glad he didn't throw everything into combat. But now what does he do?
There's a point available for him at the Emperor. Maybe he's thinking about... oh, no, okay.
No, he's just going to start showing up his alliances here, I think.
I kind of like this. This puts pressure on Tessia if they do the shifting here.
Yeah, I think what the plan is he's going to use his shifting. He's just going to drop probably the... I think actually he's just going to drop the Spacing Guild and just take it like the Emperor and just take the point.
Yeah.
I think it's the plan here. So, Spice Slow for Memnon, witnessing this carnage. Halt when engines online. So he's going to get the VP for that, but again, still needs probably some help here. Leto will reveal for the shipping and the extra dagger. Take him to 24 strength.
Yeah.
Leto, I imagine, is just going to probably just take the... I mean, you just take the bump up and then you go up and down probably with shipping on your first action next turn and take memo quarters and just threaten the VP there. I think looks pretty good.
Yeah, I think that makes sense to me.
So free swords for Tessia. Now, does she put them in? She has to here. Yeah, I think Tessia's going to war chest this. Knows that she's good. Again, Leto has no intrigue, so it means she can play this. I reckon if Leto has a couple of random intrigues, I think she doesn't do this. I think she holds on to it. But because there's no intrigues, it's a guaranteed win with war chest, so she's going to play it here. And Leto is going to horribly regret not putting this extra troop in.
Extra troop, yeah.
Would have forced a tie at the very least here. Now Tessia's gonna take the combat. I think, yeah, that was the problem here. That's why I didn't like it. Here comes shifting. High council at the same time. I think, yeah, might as well. It's fine. 2 down. I expect we'll see a drop with the. I don't like this. Whoa, why not just drop the spacing guild? You're never going to get... No one's ever going to take you now from there. I don't think I quite like this. Just taking the point with that and calling it a day, I guess. There's the spice must flow.
Okay.
If you can find another one next turn, he will be able to get at least something out of corner of the market.
This is getting very tight here.
This is a very close game.
And Memnon is really looking for a 2-pointer without any preconditions for next round.
Memnon's going to have to try and find a win, and he's going to probably need another turn after that as well. So,
yeah,
I don't know how he's going to find this. But here we go. Here's the war chest. And, you know, this is the problem, Habboot. Yeah, I think you just should have got him in, but this is the way it's gone down. So, Leto is going to get a expensive second place here. Tessia is going to take the Emperor Alliance, you would imagine. Get her to 9 victory points. Cannot trash Spy Satellites. No way to do that. Unless she lucks into something insane here. But there's not going to be any more combat. Dreadnought has to go as well. Remember, of course. 2 garrison troops for next turn.
This is looking very good
if she finds the victor, it's the craziest draw you ever saw.
Favorite
subject. Oh, it's not. Oh, it's Oh, man. That's not good for her. That does nothing.
Well, 2 cards do nothing.
That's kind of unfortunate she finds that, actually, because if she'd have gone elsewhere... Yeah, why did she not... She should have just taken the intrigue first. She might have put those 2 influences somewhere else, maybe. I don't know. Doesn't matter. It is what it is. All right, Imperial Basin. Free troop for Tessia. Not good for Memnon. But Tessia's not got a huge garrison. This is big here. Now,
Leto has picked up private army here. Just want to note.
That with Richard Ordnance is absurd. Yep. He's got his Ixion Engineer as well, so that's going to get trashed. That's a victory point. Leto obviously wants to win and detonate his Dreadnought as well, so if Memnon's going to win this, this is going to be hard to win here. So here we go. Leto will go first, but Leto has drawn horribly.
Yeah.
Leto's drawn horribly. If he gets memo quarters, how's he getting enough persuasion from anyway? He's not.
This is super awkward.
Garbage draw for Leto. So I don't think Leto might go. He might take like horror projectors or something here. I don't think he's gonna go memo. But yeah, memo quarters is like you take it, but how are you gonna get this? Where's your extra influence coming from? Oh, you just double ship. Of course, you double ship. You moron. I apologize, everyone. Yes, 1 for shipping, 1 for memo quarters.
Yeah,
sorry. Yes, great point. Sorry, my bad. So yeah. Sorry.
It's okay. It's okay.
There's a lot going on.
Yeah.
There's a lot happening. So Tate's going to take that in. Troop transport turns up.
Jesus.
I don't think I will see any use here.
No.
So what else have we got going on here? Tessia's hand is not great. Beast is kind of a bit awkward as well. Has Ixion Probe though, so I expect we're going to see that probably used here to get some stuff out of the way. Carriel for Memnon looks good, but what are you doing with the spice?
Yeah, unfortunately, you don't have any way to use this spice. So I think for Memnon, it's probably going to be a first... Oh, man, this is so awkward.
By the way, out of 21 cards draw, only 1 of them has a faction access. That is insane. In round 8, 21 cards, only 1 has a faction access. That is nuts. I don't think I've ever seen that before.
That's
Wow.
pretty insane.
Beast is going to find value out of Bounty Hunter then. There's no question about that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
He's going to find use out of that. So, what's the plan here with Tessia with a horrendous hand? You must have thought that wealth might be an option. She needs to find two Solari somewhere. But the only way she could do that is to visit the Emperor, and she can't get there. Smuggling's no good. And all of a sudden, Tessia Vernes is in some trouble here. She's got 8 persuasion. She can't just reveal and take the spice and call it a day. Wow, this is very awkward. Is there any bypass shenanigans she can do here?
So there's a couple things. She can go to Imperial Basin, get some spice, hope that selective breeding wheels all the way around, draw, and then try to hit your other faction access card. There's not a whole lot of chance of that. There's 4 cards left in her deck. I don't know if she has another one, to be quite honest, but maybe.
Horrible spot.
It's really bad, yeah.
But yeah, just get in the spice and you just trash spice satellites and just shut your eyes.
Yeah,
and
you can do that, yeah.
You can close your eyes and hope Memnon wins. Memnon might end up playing Gatekeeper here a little bit.
Oof.
I mean, but the problem is with Tessia is that she could do that, but like Bene Gesserit Alliance is going to feel not particularly comfortable.
Now suddenly this war chest might be a pivotal moment in this game, because now being 1 spice or 2 Solari behind, but potentially 1 Solari if she goes smuggling.
It's a sacrifice you have to make. I think you just have to hope that you found like a card that got you to the Emperor, and you could just cash in. You just cash in Chaum and call it a day. But she hasn't found it. That's the problem. So, but you can't hit Imperial. Imperial Basin gives you 3 spices 4. If you hit selective breeding, it takes you back down to 2, which means you can't trash spice satellites. Can you find a way to cash in both? That's the question. I just don't see it. I don't think it's on. You've got no research station. That's out of options. Arakeen feels kind of doesn't really help you a lot here. I just don't see how you're going to get to VP this turn. Like, could you get one of those in and buy spice? I think you need some very fortunate card draw here. This is just really... It's a real horrid hand, this. There's just, like, no good plays. Do you just take Mentat and just...
There's an option. You could go get spice. That's the first option. Then use Test of Humanity to select a breed. After you play Bypass Protocol and grab the mission area. That would let you draw the mission area, and then you could potentially use it to...
Whoa. Now, this is a...
Whoa.
Oh, and finds bribery. Ooh. That might be of some use. I think you're just glad no one else gets that.
Just play the favorite subject now, right? Because there's no
point. You just lock it up. But bribery doesn't actually do all that much for you here.
It's true. Nothing's really.
There's no alliance. There's nothing to target. This is really peculiar. So the players have agreed, and I think it's kind of is correct anyways, that they're discarding in turn order, which I think
that's how it
should be which I think is how it should be anyways.
It is.
So it's good to see that. But yeah, like Tessia, I think I wouldn't have been surprised to see Tessia just. I think going secrets here. This is I have no other. I have no idea what else to do. I'm just gonna play this and hope I draw something good.
Yep.
Which feels pretty bad. And the problem is now you've done that, you now run the risk of not getting anything. I guess the backup is like you've always got Haga Basin and you just try Spice Satellites that way. I don't know. This is a I don't have much else to do here. Can I just Hail Mary something really good here? But Memnon unshort trash swap to discard here. I think that seems fine. And Leto will get rid of Reconnaissance here. Obviously, will not be discarding Ixion.
Okay, most of these alliances are pretty locked up here. Nothing really happening.
This is an enormous Ixion probe for East here. Can he find Highliner access? No.
Yes.
Yes, he does. What a monster card. Well, here we go.
Okay.
Like, Highliner, it's got to be, right?
Yeah, there's nothing else to do.
It's got to be Highliner, and it is. We are going adventuring, everyone. Here we go. And it opens up. You've always got Bounty Hunter to research station as well. So there's options here as well. So here we go. Everything in. 14 strength for the beast. He's got training drones. I mean, you should just use that. Probably call it a day.
Yeah.
But he's, I guess, forgot. Oh,
No,
he's
there he
remembered.
goes.
Oh, he's remembered now. So like, yeah, just. So there we go. So 16 strength in. Is anyone going to be able to challenge that reliably? Memnon, of course, has rapid, but it's not going to be enough strength at the moment. Second place for 5 spice is not doing a lot here. Memnon must win this combat. How does Memnon find it?
Research.
Memnon's going to hit research station now. He has to do it, which makes sense. He's got to get in before anyone else does.
So here's the question, I guess. What do you trash? What do you trash?
You can't trash your spice must flow.
Oh.
No! You hold to an engine!
He'll get another one. He just needs 2.
Oh, he has. Yeah, he has 2. I guess. Okay, he already has 1. Okay, it's not too bad. I was about to say that. I was about to say it's really risky, but no, you're okay.
It's all right.
Good point. He was making me very scared for a second. He also has invasion ships, so I expect we will probably see a. He'll use an interstellar at some point. He'll infiltrate into there, maybe with his carryall.
Okay.
I don't think he's gonna use it for a spice anymore, so he'll just infiltrate with that, tow up and down, and get his Fremen point that way. Probably, I expect is what we'll see.
Leto draws a court intrigue, which
doesn't do a lot for him. It's kind of a bit of a dead card. He might just go to the Emperor just to cycle private army, maybe. But
does he though?
But
I mean, I don't know.
Leto's just got to get dudes. He's just got to get dudes in here now. Court intrigue is his only playable card as well, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah,
that's the problem. He got rid of his recon instead of his convincing arm, which was very strange. I don't know why he did that.
I guess you could go to conspire here, but then he's 1 short for the
yeah,
the
that's no
army.
good.
No, that's
yeah,
awful.
it's no good. All right, Carfag for Tessia here. Tessia is just hoping for intrigues here, just hoping to find a way to get this. How has Tessia Vernius not gone and taken spice here and trash smash spice? Has she forgotten? I have seen players who get spice sites and then completely forget they can trash it.
Tactician's the pickup.
Tactician's the pickup, which isn't going to do a lot here. But how has Tessia Vernius not got spice yet and just trash by satellites and close this game down? Are they concerned that they're actually going to lose to Beast if the game ends now?
Well, as it stands, they will.
Siege Tiber for Beast here. Now, this is curious.
Wait, what just happened? Oh, they picked up a bypass. Oh, they used the bypass.
They used bypass, they're just burning it, so. I guess he's just getting dudes in here. He's gonna just get some spice together. It all matters for this all matters for tiebreakers potentially.
Yep.
So get those spice in. I don't think he's actually gonna use it. I think Bounty. I imagine we're gonna see. But the thing is, Bounty Hunter to research. I don't actually think he can even get a spice must flow with that, which is an amazing thing. I think he might just go Carfag.
Wow. And now Memnon is really cut off here.
But it's horrible. Good. Yeah, Beast now has nothing. Corner Market's doing nothing. Yeah, and Memnon now.
What did they do?
Memnon, I mean, rapid mobilization's just like kind of sitting there doing nothing. I do think you infiltrate with invasion ships to Interstellar, and you just cash in and take the Fremen point and go from there. I don't see what else you've got. You know you're gonna get your Spice Must Flow. You know you're gonna get Holtzman's. That takes you to 9 points. Where is the 10th point coming from? That is the question. Is there a 10th point? Unless you like Hardy Warriors, you can't. You don't have the water.
No.
So you can't do that. You can't go Conspire. There's nothing there.
You can Diplomacy and then what? No, that's not good.
It's all you just want to garrison troops for rapid here.
Yeah.
You're not interested in deploying. You're interested in just getting them in. I think you have to you've got to infiltrate here with Interstellar, because this way.
Wait, did they skip?
Whoa! What the? What in the? Now, it's worth noting Now, this is interesting. Leto's gone out of turn, but Leto has gone out of turn, and they need to put Dispatch back. That needs to be reshuffled here, I think. I think arguably that needs to be put back in and reshuffled. They might decide otherwise, but it's interesting that he's gone Conspire here. I think you've got to infiltrate. You've got to take garrison these troops in, yeah. And this is where you're shipping, you're garrisoning troops.
Yeah, this makes sense.
And this all goes forward.
Okay,
you might just
can take troop transports here. Actually,
and just take the extra troop.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Are they?
So there's the Fremen point.
Didn't they go up down?
He's deciding. He's going in order. He's working out what he wants to do. He's not decided on Tessia yet. But I think you just got to get maximum troops in here now, I think. But the problem is, are you ever going to outpower Beast here? I honestly... Like, you can take troop transports and for the time being outnumber Beast. I guess.
Yeah. You have one more action, but what do you do with it?
But, yeah, there isn't anything to do. It's the problem. I think this is just kind of a bit end of the roadish for Memnon here.
You know, I think going for the Dreadnought here would have been a better play. Getting the Dreadnought.
Yeah, we did talk about this earlier. There was a chance to take it, and Dreadnoughts are surprisingly deceptively handy late game. And it would have given a bit more freedom here. Just to have that Garrison Dreadnought and just getting in with him. That's an extra free power. Hollow Projectors is the take here. I think this is a sign of I'm in trouble here.
Disposal.
Interesting, they didn't go troop transports. I think they had to put this.
I don't know. Didn't they trash
I'm
their...
not sure either.
Oh no, they do have like one combat card, right? Left in their deck. Yeah, there's one combat card that gives them 3 power. But
okay, so yeah, we'll see what the plan is, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure as much Somancy is. So Leto's gonna ditch his private army. He's gonna ditch it and hope for something else here. I'm kind of curious to see, like, what could he draw here that's of any good? He's hoping for, like, plans, I guess. Plans would be enormous for him. Plans would be a game changer.
It's just an ambush.
Like, it's something he can actually play now, because he couldn't play Private Army, so...
It's true.
There's still 4 swords, which might help him get a second spot here, but it's not going to make a big difference. Tessia Vernius. Surely, the Imperial Basin has been left unattended. This has to be punished, and will be. And here we go. And that's going to be... I think this could be it. Beast is going to get a couple of points here, however. This is going to be interesting to see how this is going to play out. So the trashing is incoming.
Mm-hmm.
If Beast wins, he gets a couple of points. Then we come down to tiebreakers. Beast has got to be thinking what he wants to do here now. I honestly, legitimately believe you go Hager Basin with your Worm Rider. I think you have to buy up spice here. Because...
Yeah. Tiebreaker.
Here's the logic. Tessia is at 9 points. She trashes Spice Satellites for 10, but puts her at 1 spice. Now, if you go to Hager Basin with your Worm Riders, it gets you to 8 spice. Tessia is not finding 7 spice. You still beat her on tiebreakers at 10 points. And you just have to hope she has no other way of getting hold of that. If you don't go there, she can get, in theory, 2nd place somehow. She will still outspice you. So I think it is key you go Hager Basin here with this. Everything else is a gamble. Like, Carthag is just a complete shot in the dark. Nothing else to do here. I think just take 4 spice, take the win, and just shut your eyes and hope that Tessia doesn't find 2 victory points. If she finds 2 victory points, she finds 2 victory points. There was nothing you could ever do. But you have to hope she only gets 1 and you just find your way there. I think it wins him the game if he plays it, but it's not easy to see. Like, Carthag looks so tempting, but I think Carthag could legitimately lose the Beast this match.
You can't go to Carthag, right?
He's got Bounty Hunter.
Oh, with Bounty Hunter. Yeah.
He's got Bounty Hunter. He can go there. If Tessia Vernius finds her way to 2nd spot somehow, think he sees it. Oh, this also works. Yeah, this is also good. Yeah, he's just buying spice here, just accumulating spice, and just getting it ready for the end game.
That
Good
works.
spot here by Tomas. Big spot here.
Yep.
That is probably going to see him get through.
Very smart play. What is this for?
And now somancy
This
is
just a
there's
Hail Mary,
nothing.
yeah.
There's nothing else to do here. Just take a couple of stuff here. There's nothing else to be done.
Yep.
This game is kind of over, unfortunately. Somancy had a good run here, but just needed an extra turn in this match. There's the trash for Leto for the Ixion engineer. Will take him to 8 points, but that is his race run as well. Memnon quarters will get him to 9, but no detonation. Tessia Venice will trash by satellites. That gets her to 10 points. But I don't think it's actually going to be enough here. She has to do it almost obligatory. But it's got to be done here. Just buying liaisons, because why not, I guess. Extra sword for the beast. Memnon reveals for a lot of influence, but it's only 1 spice he gets. I think it's 12 plus whatever he's about to get here. Make it 13.
There's the Fate
he
of
gets
Death Commando.
Oh, there's his swords for his rapid mobilization. That gets him to 19 strength.
It's pretty close. 18? 19, yeah.
19 strength. Wow. If he'd had just a little more firepower, he might have actually legitimately won this combat, which would have been nuts. But it's not going to be enough here. This has been a fascinating game. This has been a very intricate fight here. People kind of really playing against each other. So, yeah, they were good. So here comes the ambush to just kind of to tie up with Blue because they've got nothing else to do here. Blue will ambush to get ahead anyways, but this is going to play itself out here. So Beast is going to take 2 victory points to this combat and is going to win this match courtesy of the accrued spice.
Yep.
He's going to win with 10 and 10 spice here. Tessia Vernius is going to be second place with 10 and I think 4 spice. But it is not going to be enough for a second place. And they will be eliminated from this tournament.
And then Memnon will somehow get 4th again. Poor Memnon. Oh no.
Poor Memnon. It was a bold choice, and I'm sure we will.
Actually, will he? Maybe he'll get tiebreakers because of the Holtzman. No, he'll get 3rd on tiebreakers.
He gets his 9th point.
Yeah. All right, that's fine.
So
feels like you win when you're 3rd with Memnon. Corner of the market doesn't do anything.
No value for it, but no one else had it, which is important. Point for Leto as well, but that is all that she's gonna write here. So Beast will win it with 10 and 10. Bale second with 10 and 1. Memnon finds 3rd spot with 9 and 5, and Leto with a hard fought 9 and 1. And yeah, Tessia brewing their intrigue to come late, but that's the risk you take with the deck. You never know what you're gonna pick. Let's go have a chat with the players.
All right. Hey everyone. Good games.
Hello. Yeah, very close. Very close.
Yeah, we were saying we had a feeling this was gonna be quite a very little kind of intricate sort of game. Just the one I commented earlier was just carnage, where this is a much more sort of tactical affair and people kind of playing a little bit against each other here. It was very interesting to see though. People took some chances here and there, especially Bale. Bale took a couple of risks as he went, and some paid off, some didn't. Obviously, the dual war chest and Chowam was pretty horrible, but that's
was that the next card?
No. I just found it. I was digging for it.
It was way down the deck. Yeah, it was pretty unlucky to get war chest and Chowam at the same time.
Yeah,
that never feels too great. But it's the risk you take the intrigue deck. You never know what you're gonna get. It's always a gamble. But there was a lot of cool stuff. A lot of people played some very kind of. It was very interesting to see. Like I think everyone was kind of playing very kind of thinking of what other people could do and what we were prepared to do. Tomas found the trip to to break flat just to show up first place, which is good. I think some players might just think, oh, I can go to Carthag with bounty hunter.
Yeah.
And that would lose you a game potentially because Tessia could in theory get 5 spice and cost you there, but wasn't
Yep.
the peak.
I was thinking about that, but well, good game, guys.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
I think if Grand Vision goes my way, I think I win.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
was
Grand Vision was very interesting because like it was great for Somancy who needed some extra time, and that kind of bought him a bit of a turn to kind of try
Yeah.
and get the game, which he did.
I was preparing for a
Atlanta.
2-pointer, and I would have gonna lean there, but then, I mean, I was so close, but
And then you
there
had
was
you had to get involved anyways because Tessia was threatening to win the game, so you kind of
Yeah,
had to
yeah.
highline her anyways, which is
Yeah.
like one of the most like least wanted highliners possibly. In
Yeah, I
history.
hated it. I hated it with my life, but I had to do it because
Yeah.
otherwise Tessia was ending the
Tessia
game,
just ends the
and
game,
I
yeah,
hadn't
so-
and I hadn't drawn my engineer yet,
Yep.
so I needed that point.
Yeah, you needed the turn, so you kind of forced into it. It was pretty unfortunate there, but
Yeah.
yeah, that's the thing. Like I think Grand Vision gets a lot of stick because it's not a 2-pointer, but I don't think it's as bad because it throws up these interesting situations.
Yeah.
It's a bit like with economic as well. I think it's cool because it kind of it's not just winner gets 2 points. I think there's a bit more into it. It depends on the game state, who wants it, who doesn't want it, and I just think that kind of, to me, I'm okay with that. We're obviously
So-
ignoring the big elephant in the room here.
Which would be
I mean, it actually didn't seem too bad picking Memnon here. Actually didn't look too bad at all. But
The Memnon.
Nah, it was
yeah,
great.
we were
That was great.
intrigued.
It was pretty
It worked.
interesting.
I said I was gonna play it at some point.
So, how good would have the content been if I had drawn the plans?
Oh yeah, plan
Um,
was with the plans. Yeah, we were talking.
Pans
about
and Pans was there, and I knew people were hunting for it. I figured like there was some intrigue hunting later on, but no
Yeah,
one.
at least I denied this like turn 1. No
Yeah.
one had it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you found
that's
that
at least
early,
is
so that was good.
a little point there. Had it
Yeah,
all the game.
And there's worlds where you might even still cash that in and get the extra point for it, But it's good to have that Memnon doesn't have it. Who's always going? He's pretty much likely going to go heavy influence, and
Mhm.
other players can definitely pivot into that as well. So even if you're not going to use it, it's good to know they don't have it.
I like Bale denying the spy satellite very early. I think that was interesting.
Yeah, that was the other very
Yeah.
interesting choice.
Very
so,
interesting choice.
It
You
was
denied to me.
so-
This right?
yeah,
It was
Or
so
fish-
early, and
yeah,
he
the
was
question was, was it a denial? Were you intending to get some actual points out of it? Like,
No,
were you?
Well,
that
I
was
knew I'd eventually get a point.
definitely a denial, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, mostly denial. Denial to green and yellow.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, at the end it's like a 7 spike point. It's not that bad.
Yeah,
For-
expensive, but not.
Tessia also, you need those points.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah. Tessia can
Okay.
easily get her way to like 7-8 points, but getting beyond that can be a little tricky.
Yeah, it's
And
a
there
big
wasn't
deal.
a lot of combat VP available, and what there was always going to be dominated by the beast.
I think there was a lot. There were like
It was 4.
three.
Yeah.
There were 3 year 2
Yeah,
combats.
a couple.
with
There
points.
was a reasonable in the end, but it was always going to be
That's-
hard
Yeah.
for Tessia because you were like arming up for war very early. So
That's
they're
it.
4.
not
There
going to
were
rely if
4.
you win 2 or 3. So
Yeah,
they've
4
got to
is-
like win 1 and
Yeah.
then kind of pick up a point
Yeah.
there, and
This
X-Men
stopped me
went.
like twice.
That wasn't going to happen. So
Yeah, in one moment I saw the play like I'm not getting the Swordmaster any soon, and this spice is so important for the beast because you get to 3 and you can catch out this one in turn 2.
yeah,
That's like 8 troops, 7 troops in the game.
it's a
a
monster.
lot of value.
Yeah.
Monster combat for him.
Yeah, but the sacrifice of the Swordmaster is like a pain.
Yeah.
A pain have it like one turn before the conflict 3. It's like, but it's fine. It's this. It's what it is.
Okay,
Well,
it was a pretty
Guys,
good game,
I-
guys.
yeah,
It
very
was really
close. I
good.
gotta go to a birthday, so I'm so delayed. It was at like 2 hours ago,
Oh,
but
no.
it's okay.
Alright.
Yeah, I told my friend
Okay.
I will be playing this game.
Bye.
So see you
congrats,
around. Bye.
Tomas.
Bye.
Yeah,
Good,
see you.
Thank
good
you.
game,
Bye-bye.
everyone. Thank you for playing.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you,
Bell.
bye-bye.
We'll see you in the
Congrats, Tomas.
semifinals.
Yeah, well played. GG.
See you later. GG's.
All right, and yeah, that's it for us for this game. We will see you on the next one. Thank you all for watching. Take care.
TDFN.